Absolutely. And I guess one of the big things that is getting a little bit more attention is the risk of losing a lot of muscle mass when people lose significant weight too quickly. So that's definitely something that we really work on and help people to, eat enough protein, strength train, so that whilst they lose weight, they don't lose muscle, because that's when they actually slow down their metabolism in the long term, and then that's when they're really likely to put on and regain the weight that they've lost.
Ashley, appreciate your contribution. Hi, Chris.
Yes, hi Shane. I was an executor and power of attorney to my parents, who had a couple's life insurance, funeral insurance policy.
Yep.
And they'd had it for over 10 years.
And were you able to get it easily, Chris?
No. Well, first, my father died, so I had to wait for his death certificate, which takes a month. And there was obviously you have to pay for the funeral well before then, of course.
See, and that's what makes it so hard, Chris. The fact that you've got to go through so much. And I apologise we didn't have longer to talk as we approach the 3 o'clock news, but it seems to be the issue from a number of callers today when it comes to funeral insurance, getting that payout in a timely manner. Again, when you're organising funeral insurance, it's when you're at your most vulnerable, your most emotive. It needs to be an easier process. Tony Monclair should be back with you tomorrow. Lucy Logan and Paul Gover will be here. Thank you for the privilege of your company this Tuesday. Jackie Felgate on After 3.
Listen, watch and have your say at 3aw.com.au. Melbourne's 3AW 693.
24 degrees in Melbourne, showers tomorrow, a top of 21. It's 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tardio. Detectives are continuing to piece together the moments leading to a young father's death in Altona North. A 26-year-old Werribee man was found with a gunshot wound at a property on 2nd Avenue just after 3:30 this morning. The home has been taped off while police investigate the death. This neighbour says they've known the victim since he was a young boy.
We knew him, yes, since he was a young boy. He's always been a loving, caring boy, never had issues, never heard anything bad about him, anything like that. He's well known in the area.
Opposition leader Jess Wilson has vowed to work with the Allen government to lift Victoria out of debt. Ms Wilson has written to the Premier proposing a bipartisan commission comprised of former Labor and Coalition treasurers, which would provide recommendations to improve the state's finances in the short, medium and long term. The forecast is Victoria's debt will climb to $194 billion in 3 years' time. Ms Wilson says simply continuing to raise taxes will not work.
Either the Premier and the Treasurer have a plan to reduce debt, which they are not sharing with us, or they do not have a plan.
One Nation leader, Pauline Hanson, has been suspended from the Senate for the next 7 sitting days. It follows her decision to wear a burqa into the chamber late yesterday after she was prevented from having a debate to ban the full face covering. Senator Hanson has been widely criticised over the stunt, arguing she's been disrespectful to people of the Muslim faith. Barnaby Joyce says he'll likely make a decision about his political future by the end of the week. The Nationals MP is expected to quit the regional party and move across to One Nation. An inquest has heard one of the victims of Sydney's Bondi Junction stabbing attack may have responded differently if an alarm or alert had been sounded sooner. Josh Bryant reports from Sydney.
A coroner has heard 26 recommendations have been drafted following weeks of evidence into the attack at Westfield Bondi Junction. In a matter of minutes, 16 people were stabbed, 6 fatally, by a man who was later shot dead by a police officer. Counsellor Sistings told the hearing they submit there was 77 seconds in which an alarm or alert could have been sounded inside the shopping centre, which may have caused the last person to be killed to have responded differently to what was unfolding. The coroner will also be asked to consider suggestions for serious reforms to the mental health system and the guidance given to the media about how to strike the right balance when covering mass casualty events. At the State Coroner's Court, Josh Bryant, 9 News.
Finance News. The share market up 1 point this hour.
Unbeatable Black Friday deals at Harvey Norman. 75-inch TVs from just $7.99 and big brand fridges from just $3.88. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
Josh Hazelwood has been spotted bowling today for the first time since injuring his hamstring in a Shield match. Hazelwood, who missed the first Ashes test, was joined by Pat Cummins, who bowled with a pink ball, a telling clue ahead of next week's day-night test in Brisbane. England has passed up the opportunity to give their first-choice batters some match practice in this weekend's pink ball fixture in Canberra, only sending 3 fringe players from its test squad after their Perth demolition. North Melbourne on-baller Mia King, who has been sidelined for the past 6 weeks since injuring her PCL, is available for selection for this weekend's AFLW Grand Final, and Nick Kyrgios is set to test his readiness for a return to Grand Slam in Melbourne in January with an appearance at the Kooyong Classic the week before the Australian Open. That's the latest in news and sport.
3AW Sport. Escape your pricey telco. Switch to Amasim and save big on mobiles and home internet. Visit amasim.com.au and tell your pricey telco where to go.
Downsize without compromise and live an easier life at your nearest Oak Tree Retirement Village. Our relaxed, welcoming and boutique environment will mean you know your neighbours, but have the independence you want and the peace of mind you need. Why not spend less time on maintenance, more time making new friends? Discover why our residents love to call Oak Tree home. Find your nearest village at oaktreegroup.com.au or call 1300 367 155.
The latest 3AW Melbourne traffic, thanks to TripADeal. Earn and use Qantas points on every booking. Head to tripadeal.com.au.
Hello, Dan Delling from Transport Victoria. In Bulleen, a collision on Bulleen Road at Manningham Road. The right lane's blocked in both directions on the southern side of the intersection. Our incident response are attending. Take care turning through the intersection as well. Craigieburn, the Amaroo Road exit from the Hume Freeway outbound is blocked after a car fire. Take the earlier exit at Craigieburn Road, then you can use the Hume Highway. Works on the Westgate Freeway inbound off the bridge at Todd Road have the right lane closed, and it's improving citybound along Queens Road past Albert Park Lake after an earlier broken down car was removed.
You know you want to start a business. What you don't know is how to make it a reality. GoDaddy Aero's got you. It uses AI to help you find the domain name that's right for you. Next, answer a few prompts, and with a couple of clicks, Aero will design a professional-looking website or storefront in minutes. Aero can even help you stay engaged with your customers. Just attach a professional email that matches your domain. With GoDaddy Aero, you can build a business without having to know a thing about this stuff. Just visit godaddy.com.au to get started. That's godaddy.com.au. Premium features require paid subscription. See terms on site.
That's the sound of Christmas. And a reminder to get a jingle on and order your Christmas gift hampers now at Hamper World. The team at Hamper World are busy creating beautiful Australian-made hampers filled to the brim with quality Australian-made food and wine. By pre-ordering your Christmas hampers, you can rest easy knowing that your staff, clients, family and friends will receive their hampers in time for Christmas. So don't delay. Order your Christmas gift hampers today. Visit hamperworld.com.au.
Unbeatable Black Friday deals at Harvey Norman. 75-inch TVs from just $7.99 and big brand fridges from just $3.88. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
Showers tomorrow, possible thunderstorms, a top of 21 after an overnight low of 15. Thursday, a shower or two, 18. Friday, showers increasing, 23. Saturday, showers, 19. Sunday, a shower or two, 21. Monday, showers increasing, and 18. On the base, there's a strong wind warning. It's 25 at Viewbank. In the city, 23 degrees. Tony Tardio, Melbourne's own 3AW.
Now, this is 3AW Drive with Jackie Falgate.
Good afternoon. Thanks for your company on Drive on another lovely sunny spring day. It really is a gorgeous time of year, isn't it? Now, today I want to talk about the healthcare system and it really being a tale of two groups in this state, the haves and the have-nots, those who are in the private system and can afford it and those who can't. And those who wait in emergency wards in excess of 12 and 14 hours for important and urgent medical care. And that is what happened at the Northern Hospital last night. I've been sent photos of people sleeping under hospital blankets, curled up in the fetal position. And this is why it's a tale of two halves. Because although our hospital system is overburdened and flawed, if you drive to certain parts of Melbourne, you will get seen. And you will not have to wait 12 to 15 hours just to have a doctor or a nurse look at you. But the state of our emergency departments, well, I think it's a funding emergency, and for years it has gotten more and more dire. But if you live in a growth corridor like Epping, like Wollert, like Donnybrook or Mickleham, you may spend an entire evening on the floor or in a chair in pain waiting to see a doctor. And that is a third world system. And we ask ourselves, why is it a third world system? At the Northern Hospital, for example, the percentage of patients who get seen within the recommended time, so the healthy and normal time, if you need to see a doctor, the government recommends guidelines, it's only half. It's 56.6% gets seen in time. So almost half of the people that turn up at the Northern Hospital don't get seen within the recommended time. And make no mistake, more cuts are coming. The average person in the public system is waiting too long. And part of that is because bulk billing and the promises that the federal government made at the last election, they haven't been realised. We spoke about this a few weeks ago, and I truly believe, and I've experienced it, people are paying more to go to the doctor, and the gap between the haves and the have-nots is widening. And have you taken a relative or yourself to emergency lately? And how long did you wait? Cancer patients needing pain relief, waiting on chairs all night, patients with breathing issues, waiting 14 hours, significant things that need to be addressed, not for people who are sitting in a chair for 12 to 14 hours. It is a third world system, and it is happening more and more. And it is not fair that if you need help and you don't have private cover, you are in pain. Medical staff, like the doctors and the nurses and the administrators, they are under extraordinary strain. And I thought that this was a good discussion to have today, because when you can't see a doctor in the middle of the night because the hospital is under so much strain, when you can't drive on a road because of the potholes, when you can't run your business because of the tax, when you have to sell your farm or your house over land tax and the fire services tax. All of this, right, goes to our quality of life, one that we had not that long ago. Victoria was a powerhouse, like a business and educational powerhouse. And I look at the cuts to medical research and it makes me really angry, this. I remember being proud as a young reporter when we'd go to the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute. The government would take us out there at the time, the Brumby Labor government, and they were proud to say, we're investing in science. That is the future of this state, medical research and science. But this government has cut that funding. And all of this goes to our quality of life. And so I got thinking overnight and I thought, well, why is that? And all of this, when our quality of life is less because we don't have enough money in this state, all of it is for a train line from Cheltenham to Box Hill, a $34.5 billion monstrosity that will change the way we live forever. And the government says it's a project we can't afford not to build. But this is the cost. It is basic service and basic cost of living. We're giving up all of those things for a train line from Cheltenham to Box Hill. And isn't that just insane? 133693. And the reason I thought I wanted to link the health and the SRL today is because the boss of the Department of Premier and Cabinet was in parliamentary hearings today, and he was asked again about the costings of the SRL. His name is Jeremy Mule, and this is some audio I wanted to play you now. And he was asked, why is the government still planning the suburban rail loop of costings from 2021?
Whether or not there's been any revision to the total estimated cost, no, there has not.
Have you requested one, given that it's 4 to 5 years out of date?
No, I feel like we're in the home stretch, but this has been a piece of work that at a point of time is going to be necessary for the government to announce, and we've been working towards that time frame. That's
still not finalised after 5 years.
The government has not yet announced its decision.
No, but has it concluded its position?
I'm satisfied with the answer that I gave you, Mr. Welch.
I'm not, though. I'm not at all satisfied.
None of us are satisfied, Mr. Mule. None of us. 133693, drive at 3aw.com.au. I would use the word extraordinary to describe that exchange, but I might also use the word corrupt. And when the Auditor General released his independent report into the suburban rail loop yesterday, I asked this question. The Auditor General of this state, independent, has the power to subpoena documents from the Department of Treasury. So why has he not demanded the financials from Treasury into the suburban rail loop? And why did we get such a wishy-washy response? The government is playing with numbers here. And the problem is they're also playing with your quality of life. The voting public needs to know, What is the true funding proposed from value capture for this project? That's taxing developers who build above the project, the high rises. How much is the Treasury relying on federal funding? How much is the state going to borrow? How much more debt are we going to go into to fund the SRL? And this is a big step too, but I wanted to remind our listeners that we have an anti-corruption commission in this state. It's called NIBAC and it's also independent. It's a broad-based anti-corruption commission and it has the power to look into why this project is still running off 2021 figures and why contracts continue to be let without any funding. Because here's the thing, right? And I'd love to know, if you work in construction, today is your day, how much of your building costs increase? Because at a minimum, it is estimated that building costs have increased by 22% across the sector, right, since 2021. So that would make the suburban rail loop currently over $52 billion at a minimum. But for some reason, the government continues to say, and this is why I think there's something really sour at play here, the government continues to say that for some reason, when every other project in this state blows out, the magical, mythical suburban rail loop doesn't move a single penny. So 133693. If you work in construction, how much extra is steel? How much extra is wood? How much extra is labour? How much extra is cement and electrics? And do you want the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Independent Auditor General to demand these documents from the Department of Treasury? Because you know why the government won't tell us? Because they know the figure is more than 40 billion. They know they have left it too late, and they know when you can't get a bed in a hospital, when you can't pay your land tax, when your quality of life has changed, as it has in this state, particularly over the last 4 years, which is what we're talking about, 2021 to now, almost 5 years. They are betting their political fortune on the SRL. And I still think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I still think this is a losing hand. 133693. If you're in construction and if you're waiting for a hospital bed, let me know. Also coming up on a more positive note, Socceroo, John Aloisi, and some hidden audio the 3AW team have unearthed of the famous penalty shootout from 2005. Stay listening. And a little later in the program too, I don't know if you saw The Age today, but there's a lovely little piece about Oakley. And the author who I'm going to speak to calls it the Greekest place outside of Greece. I love that. So if you live in Oakley, is it the Greekest place outside of Greece? I love Greece. 133693. And tell me what's so special about Oakley. Is it the cake shops? I love all the old dudes that sit out there with their coffee, and but I think in the article she called it like the Greek church, where they all kind of congregate every morning and have their coffees. I love it. I love it. And also, I don't know if you saw this on my socials. I've been hoping to speak to the person who took it, but I haven't tracked them down yet. It's gone viral. So in the Metro Tunnel, they were testing the signs on the platform over the last few days. And look out if you live in Frankston. It turns out the new station code for Frankston, I'm going to be polite about this, but the initials for the station code is FKN. So use your imagination. On the electronic platform signs, it now reads FKN passengers, replacement buses operating. So if you're a passenger on your way to Frankston, look out. It is the funniest sign I've ever seen. But have you seen a funnier sign in your life? 133693. All right, let's get into your calls now. Lisa, good afternoon.
Hi, Jackie. It's Liza.
Sorry, Liza.
That's all right. Thank you for giving us a voice. Keep going, because this government needs to be held accountable. All that money wasted on a piece of rail. I do have private health insurance, so I'm technically one of the haves, but have had influenza A, and you know what that feels like.
Oh, shocking.
And for 5 days, 40 fever, couldn't see on the weekend a GP. There were no doctors that I could see. Rang the hospitals. The private one said you can't get in unless your specialist admits you. I don't have a specialist for an influenza case. I rang the Royal Melbourne Hospital. It would have been 14 hours. No one could drive me, because when I rang the ambulance for oxygen, they were unfortunately unable to come because they had more important cases. This is ridiculous. When I tell people, friends overseas, they think, like you quoted, it's a third world country. And I have private health insurance, and I couldn't get looked after with oxygen that was nearly borderline, and no one cares. Like,
and
GPs,
Liza, do you feel like it is a third world system now, as you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the poor GPs, they're given all the responsibility. They can't put you in a private hospital. It has to be a specialist. So the loophole is No one who has private health insurance can go to a private health insurance hospital to get looked after when they're very, very sick, because you have to go through the public, wait 12 hours, be seen, and then only if they transfer you will you go to hospital.
Liza, that sounds just disturbing in itself, and I hope you are feeling better. It's shocking, Influenza A. I did just get a statement from Northern Health, and this is about last night and the patients waiting exorbitant amount of times. They say extremely high demand yesterday in the emergency department resulted in patients waiting longer than usual. They say our priority remains the safety and well-being of all of the patients and staff. Northern Hospital Epping operates the busiest emergency department in Victoria. On the day in question yesterday, they cared for 359 patients, including 100 arrivals by ambulance. And then they said with all the people sleeping on the floor, they say they're the homeless seeking refuge in the emergency department. And they say they leave them there if they're not causing disruption, and then they sleep there. Well, I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with someone waiting 14 hours for medical care. Chris James has rung in. He's the Executive Director of Northlink and wants to talk about health in the North. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, hi, Jackie. How are you?
Good. Now do you agree that speaking to people that I have been in relation to talking about this today, they believe that the health in the North and the health system in the North is under more pressure than anywhere else in the state?
Well, the issue is, as has just been said, Northern Health operates the busiest emergency department in Victoria. The other issue is that it could get worse in that population projections indicate that we're going to have 50% population growth in Melbourne's north in the next 10 years. So another 500,000 people are coming to live in Melbourne's north, particularly in those outer suburbs that Northern Health serves. So we're going to really need longer-term solutions for health in Melbourne's north. The state government are investing in the emergency department at Northern Health, which is great. But having another 500,000 people coming in the next 10 years will require likely another hospital in Melbourne's outer north around Beveridge. And that's something that we're pushing for.
What do you think the chances, Chris, of getting another hospital under this government are?
Look, it's tough because cash is constrained. That's going to be an issue, but I think we have to start planning now. This time to start now.
Are people who live in the north being treated as second-class citizens compared to those who have better access to hospitals on the other side of Melbourne?
Look, I think one of the issues is the population growth in Melbourne's north and Melbourne's west. It's growing faster than other parts of Melbourne, and that's causing huge constraints in terms of not just hospital infrastructure, but public transport as well, and roads. I mean, we've had reports of people taking half an hour to an hour to get out of their estates in the outer north. So there's a wide variety of infrastructure issues in Melbourne's north that need attention.
So, Chris, how do people feel about the suburban rail loop then in the southeast when there's no infrastructure in the north and northwest?
Look, we are getting some infrastructure. We're getting the northeast link, so we're trying to take a balanced approach. Suburban rail loop, it's a good idea in theory to have radial transport, but it's very, very costly, and the costs are increasing all the time. We've suggested, as an alternative, look at a fast bus route to start with, doing that radial route around Melbourne. We're not going to get the suburban rail loop in Melbourne's north till 2050. I'll be in my 80s then, so I probably won't even be able to get on the thing. Even if
I don't think anyone's ever going to be getting on it, Chris, looking at the state of our finances right now. Yeah, sadly.
No.
Thank you. So Chris called in. He's the Executive Director of Northlink, and they represent people who live out in the north. So if you live in the north, 133, or the west, and my view on this is the government has let you carry the can while it tries to buy votes in the southeast where all the marginal seats are. But this election, you have a choice, right? You have a choice to say that we live like another class of people in this state. And you do. You don't have access to hospitals the way people in the southeast do. You don't have access to transport the way people in the southeast do. And when you want to know why you're not getting a new hospital, the reason you're not getting it is because of the suburban rail loop.
3AW Traffic. With the right digital agency handling your SEO, your business could stand out and grow fast. Search Web Oracle and wake up famous.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. Bulleen, clear the collision Bulleen Road at Manningham Road. Delays in the area starting to ease. Craigieburn, the Amaroo Road exit off the Hume Freeway outbound blocked after a car fire. You're best to take the earlier exit at Craigieburn Road, then head along the Hume Highway instead. Works on the Westgate Freeway inbound off the bridge at Todd Road. The right lane's closed. It remains slow from there through the Burnley Tunnel. And Grimshaw Street remains closed in both directions between the Greensboro Bypass and Watsonia Road. That's till mid-December to construct a new road bridge. Take the Greensboro Bypass, the M80 Ring Road and Plenty Road.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Stop paying BAS again and again and again. Pay.com.au it instead and get points. With Pay.com.au, you can earn uncapped rewards on all the business expenses you're already paying. From rent and payroll to ATO and yes, BAS. Paid through the Pay.com.au platform and you'll earn points on bank transfers and even more on your credit cards. Your mandatory BAS payment could turn into business class flights. Pay.com.au it and start getting rewarded today. Still got it? Of course you do. The smarts, the stories and crossword skills, nothing's changed. Well, maybe getting around the house isn't as easy as it used to be. That's where Lumia Care comes in. We provide that little extra help so you can stay independent, living in the home you love. From cooking and cleaning to transport and personal care. Call 1300 796 876 or visit lumiacare.com.au. Lumia Care, for those who've still got it and want to keep it that way.
Hi, Jamie Dury here. Australia's facing a housing crisis, and I want to help change that. On my new show, Future House on Channel 9, we're taking on one big challenge. Can we build 3 homes in 3 months for 3 real families? One of those families is mine. We're using cutting-edge construction methods like prefab houses built in a factory in 6 weeks and even 3D concrete printing, which we're using on our own farm. We've also teamed up with companies making a real difference, like CommBank, the first major bank to lend for prefab off-site construction. A game changer. The future of housing isn't just a dream, it's happening right now. Join me for Jamie Dury's Future House, Tuesday nights, 8:30 on 9 and 9 Now.
Most people think that their super fund retires when they do, so they withdraw their money or stop looking for ways to increase its value. But with Hester, our specialised services and products mean your super keeps working long after you stop. Hester, super with impact. Hester is issued by HEST Australia Limited. Before making a decision about this product, read the PDS and TMD at hester.com.au and consider if it is appropriate for you. Past performance does not indicate future performance.
You're listening to 3AW Drive. The White Glove Mover handles your items with care. Read the 5-star reviews at whiteglovemover.com.au.
It is at 26 minutes past 3. Let's get into your calls. Tracy, hello.
Yeah, hi, Jackie. I was at hospital in Werribee probably about 6 weeks ago, and I was sitting opposite an elderly man and his wife, and I found out he was later at 94. He'd been into the hospital the previous day, had waited all day with chest pain, and was told to go home and come back the following day at 9:30. He came back at 9:30, and at 2 o'clock, he was looking absolutely horrible. I then asked the nurse if he could have something to eat because he was just, I could see he was going just pale. And she turned around and said, I can't feed everyone. I said, I'm not asking you to feed everyone. I'm asking you to feed him and his wife. And he said, who is the patient? I said, I don't care that you're going to have 2 cardiacs on your hands if you don't do something. He was fed a sandwich and an apple juice, but I left at 7 o'clock and he still had not been seen from that day or the previous day. And I was just like, this is horrible. It really is horrible
that the western suburbs are just missing out on everything.
Tracy, it's so sad, isn't it? And I really feel for medical staff and for AMBOs that work in this environment, the doctors, the nurses, because it is a lack of funding and it is decades-long lack of investment that has led to this. But basically, if you live in the West, you got screwed because Labor counted on your vote. And now, I mean, you can choose. You can choose not to vote for them. But most of those seats are previously safe seats. So let's just see come November. Trent, hello.
Hi, Jackie. Just quickly, there is a new hospital in the West opening up in February. It's the Footscray Hospital with 500 beds. But the reason I called, 2 weeks ago, I had to go to hospital at midnight and I rocked up at the Sunshine Hospital, which is not my first choice, and it was a 3-hour wait. There was a QR code on the window, like where the nurse is and the registrar, and it was the Victorian Virtual Emergency Department. I'll send it to you via Instagram.
I've done it before. It's really good, Trent. I've used it. I've used it multiple times for family members. It's very good, and you don't even have to live in the north or the west to use it.
No, and the thing is, the only thing that should happen is if you're like that last caller just said about the elderly man, if they're elderly, they wouldn't know how to use a computer, so they should get children and the elderly should get preference at the emergency department, and everyone else should be using Nurse on Call and that virtual ED and ringing a home visiting doctor, which is subsidised by Medicare.
That's good to know, Trent. Thank you. And yes, I have used the virtual ED and it is run out of the Northern Hospital. It's very good. But the point is they cannot keep up with the demand. And then you have people who are elderly, as the previous caller said, but also the people I spoke off air that told me about what happened at the Northern last night, who should be seen by a doctor and have to wait 14 hours. Danny Hill is the Secretary of the Ambulance Union. Hey, Danny, thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Jackie.
I just wanted to ask you, like they said, Northern was incredibly busy last night, but I was going through some facts and figures about the fact that really it is now uncommon to be seen within the recommended time in a Victorian emergency department.
Probably right. I mean, we have seen there's been one or two hospitals since the new standards came into effect early this year that have improved, but they'd be the smaller amounts. I will say the Northern's one that our members normally give a pretty good review to. They have a massive catchment and, you know, it stretches right up into the Hume. So they do have they do get smashed by us, by the paramedics, and it's not uncommon that we'll have 20, 25 crews that can be there at any one time. But they are busy and they probably cover a lot of catchments that don't have as much access to urgent care. And, you know, suggestions like Trent just made, which is a really good one, other sort of options like virtual ED are really effective, but really important in those areas.
But does it show you the lack of funding over years, if not a decade now, where you have 25 crews waiting to get their patients into the hospital, or you have the elderly waiting 12 to 14 hours to see a medical professional? That's not a first world standard.
No, it's not. And our health system, I mean, I think a bigger issue than funding itself is the dysfunction within our system, where we have a crossover of local council health, social work type services. You have the state government that funds ambulance and the hospital emergency departments, and then you have patients in the hospital wards that really need to get into federally funded aged care and NDIS. And they all compete with one another. Everyone in every part of those systems work incredibly hard, but they all have a flow-on effect to one another. So when social work fails, ambulances get called. When patients can't get into aged care beds and can't get into NDIS, ambulances end up being ramped because the EDs can't move those patients up to those wards. So it's more than the funding, I think, is the dysfunction within our system and how convoluted it can be.
And so what's the solution, particularly coming up to an election? Like what are you hoping for?
Well, I mean, from an ambulance point of view, we've sort of got two options in front of us. We can lobby the government for additional paramedics to try to meet the current workload. But from where we're sitting, we're looking at another 1,500 odd paramedics to be able to meet the response time target with the current workload. But what we've been advocating for, and what you've interviewed me about on many, many occasions, is the amount of unnecessary work that our members are going to and bringing into the emergency departments that, sure, they need assistance, but they definitely don't need an ambulance crew. And that's what our workforce are really passionate about, is getting out to the patients that really need them. But they're so often taken away, effectively logged off from that work. And it's really about using the services for what they're meant to be for. And, again, as you say, the emergency department staff are incredibly smashed. They need extra staff in their corridors so that paramedics are not being used for that purpose.
Totally. And just a question without notice. The union, the issue with the stop work amongst, it's not paramedics, but I guess it's if I was to describe it to our listeners, it's kind of ambulance office staff. Has that progressed anymore?
It has progressed. Ambulance, they are taking a lot of industrial action, and it has been quite effective. These are, in an ambulance service, while we do focus on the operational side of things and the patient care, the patient-facing response, the other support services that keep the paramedics getting to those cases are equally and sometimes even more underfunded and under-resourced. So there's quite a lot of industrial action being taken, and a lot of the background and business side of AV has actually ground to a halt recently. So that's a frustration, but they're right to take that action because it's another part of the service that's been neglected for some time.
And will that flow on to the front of, your front-end services? Like, for example, I noticed ramping was one of the things on the list that they were taking action over, like managing ramping.
I think it'll flow on to the way that a lot of those things are reported. It won't have any sort of patient safety or resourcing effect, but it will affect the way that a lot of that reporting's done. There's a lot of daily reporting that's done on ramping, and that's communicated up to the Minister's office. I think a lot of those things will be affected, but it won't have any patient safety. We can't take any action that could affect, even conceptually could affect patient safety, nor should we, and our members wouldn't do that. But it does have a flow-on effect to the operational workforce in getting their grievances and their flexible work arrangement matters dealt with. There'll be some frustration there for sure.
Danny, thank you as always. It's Danny Hill from the Ambulance Union. Sorry to keep you waiting, Tony Tardio.
Thank you, Jackie. That's okay. Good afternoon. A young father shot dead at Altona North this morning has been identified as 26-year-old Ibi Hamid. Neighbours say he was well known in the area. He was shot in the backyard of a home in 2nd Avenue. The home is believed to belong to his grandmother. An 84-year-old woman will face court later this week after she was charged following the death of a 6-year-old boy who was killed while walking to school in regional Victoria. The vehicle the woman was driving was involved in the crash, left the scene, and it was later located at an address in Teesdale. Opposition leader Jess Wilson has proposed setting up a group of former treasurers, both Labor and Liberal, to fix Victoria's debt crisis, but has warned against Tim Pallas playing any role. Ms Wilson has written to the Premier proposing a bipartisan commission to provide recommendations to government.
I wouldn't think Tim Pallas would be getting a gig on that.
Well, I think the warning is apt, isn't it? He's probably sunning himself on a beach somewhere in Havana or somewhere like that at the moment.
Havana.
On his $250,000
Does he get that? I don't know if he came in time to get that or not. Did he get that?
I think he did.
Yeah. He's one of the older ones, that's right.
Yeah. In sport, North Melbourne on-baller Mia King, who's been sidelined for the past 6 weeks since injuring her PCL, is available for selection for this weekend's AFLW Grand Final after returning to full training. There you go, Jackie. All the details at 4.
Tony, thank you. Your Drive Time tips are always welcome. Thanks to Sheen Panel Service. Had an accident? Call Sheen for a replacement vehicle. T's and C's apply. All right, your emails and your calls on the healthcare system. And also the fact that the government, and we're going to come back to this throughout the program, but it is time for the Auditor-General to go back to the Department of Treasury and say, give me the books, show me the books on the suburban rail loop, because the government is trying to hold these costings while they continue to let these contracts out, and the election will roll around, and what will be as a result, whether it is Liberal or Labor, and then they'll tell you exactly how much this thing has blown out for. All the while, you can't get into a hospital, you can't get a bed for your sick parents, and the system is under more and more strain. Also, if you live or go to Oakleigh regularly, review it for me. It's been described in The Age today as the Greekest place outside of Greece.
3AW Melbourne traffic. Bob Jane T-Marts won't be beaten with their best higher price guarantee. Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you.
Hello, Dan Delling from Transport Victoria. Little slow outbound on the Hume Freeway up towards Craigieburn. However, the Amaroo Road exit has now been reopened after an earlier car fire. There's works on the Westgate Freeway inbound off the bridge at Todd Road. The right lane closed there. 20-minute delays across the bridge into the Burnley Tunnel. The Western Freeway's building Robinsons Road to Hopkins Road, as is the Ring Road Greensborough bound from the Westgate interchange to Ballarat Road. And major tram works continue intersection of Epsom and Union Roads in Ascot Vale. One lane now open each way on Epsom Road until the weekend, but Union Road remains closed.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
There's tennis, and then there's tennis turned up. Hear the difference for yourself at the United Cup Finals in Sydney, Ken Rosewall Arena, January 3rd to 11th. Search United Cup tickets.
I think there are a lot of elderly people around sitting on valuable real estate and scrambling for cash.
Like millions of older Australians, Joe and Diana's wealth was in their home.
Household Capital and its reverse mortgage just completely solved that.
Household Capital makes it safe and simple to tap into your home wealth, giving you the financial freedom you deserve in retirement. Talk to a retirement specialist today on 13 1306. householdcapital.com.au. Terms, conditions, fees, charges and eligibility criteria apply.
I'm Mark Brooks, CEO of Lung Foundation Australia. Almost 1 in 4 Australians can't afford to forget about COVID-19. People like my parents, who are in their 70s, people with diabetes, heart disease, or those with a respiratory condition. If you're an at-risk Aussie and test positive to COVID, don't wait. It's important to know if you're eligible for antiviral medicines and go speak to your GP now. Learn more at knowandgo.com.au.
A message from Pfizer Sydney, Australia.
You know you want to start a business. What you don't know is how to make it a reality. GoDaddy Aero's got you. It uses AI to help you find the domain name that's right for you. Next, answer a few prompts, and with a couple of clicks, Aero will design a professional-looking website or storefront in minutes. Aero can even help you stay engaged with your customers. Just attach a professional email that matches your domain. With GoDaddy Aero, you can build a business without having to know a thing about this stuff. Just visit godaddy.com.au to get started. That's godaddy.com.au. Premium features require paid subscription. See terms on site.
Melbourne, your town. 3AW, your station. When big stories break, when you need to know, listen to the people in Melbourne. People you trust. It's all here. 3AW 693.
Go by Inspiring Vacations heads to the MCG November 28 and 29, and 3AW Afternoons will be there broadcasting live on Friday with Weekend Breakfast live on Saturday. Join us and explore the world's most breathtaking destinations, plus enter for a chance to win a trip to Sri Lanka. Entry is free. Register early at inspiringvacations.com. The greatest travel show by Australia's leading tour operator, Inspiring Vacations. November 28 and 29 from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the MCG.
I've found Homemade takes the stress out of managing home care services, so you get the support you need your way. They're friendly, knowledgeable, and here to help, so you don't have to figure out aged care on your own.
Hi, how may I help?
And with their lower rates, they make quality care affordable, which is why they're Australia's best value home care. Join now and you'll get a $1,200 gift card. Terms and conditions apply. Visit homemadesupport.com.au.
3AW Drive. The Berkowitz Blackout Sale starts now. Up to 25% off Stressless, 40% off select lounge and dining. Even more off floor stock. Only at Berkowitz.
It is at 19 minutes to 4. A couple of emails. Brett says, I seriously cannot believe how this current government has any more than 10% support. The people of Victoria are totally insane. If they win the next election, the exodus of people between 45 and 70 out of this state will be massive. They're already doing it, Brett. I was talking to someone the other day about their small business, and they were basically saying we can't afford to stay here much longer because of payroll tax and land tax and all of the different taxes that they've somehow been slugged with. And when you go interstate, those things just do not happen. Or if they do, they're not at the same level. And Julie says she does have private health insurance and she can't afford to be without it. Had my mother-in-law, who's 90, wait nearly 12 hours in a large public hospital's ED, it is not good enough, and the government have their priorities wrong. And I think that's my point, right, that you can't build, and I'm sure the suburban rail loop, if we were rich in this state, if we didn't have a debt level that's now creeping up to $30 million a day just in interest alone, I'm sure it'd be nice to have. But if we choose to have this, and clearly we have, then everything else has to fall by the wayside. And those things, those are the quality of life things. And while all of those things, like your healthcare, fall by the wayside, you're also being taxed into oblivion as well. Chris is on the line. Chris is a registered nurse. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Jackie. Thank you for the opportunity to chat to you today, and also for keeping the community informed of all of these topics that are in the fore.
No worries. Now tell me what it's like at the moment as a nurse in the system, and how you deal with the amount of patients you have to look after.
So I guess what I want to be able to say firstly is just to acknowledge Danny Hill and what he has just spoken about prior to the break, and very much so that if we can keep our 000 calls for our critical health needs, that makes a huge difference to what happens at that front facing it in the emergency department. So I just want to say that first.
Yes.
And if you think about our hospital networks, I mean, it's part of a system. It's like a big machine, and we need all of the cogs to be turning and turning effectively for that machine to be operating. So every little part in that system is vitally important. So what you see at the moment is if the ambulances are ramped, and then the emergency staff are trying to offload the patients from those trolleys so that the ambulances can get back out there again, then there's pressure on those emergency staff to actually be able to do all of the things they need to do for those patients. You need every person that's presenting to the emergency department needs a bed. Hospitals only have so many beds, so we need to free up those beds in the hospital to be able to allow somebody from the emergency department to come into those beds. So you can see how complex and how multifaceted this is.
Has it ever been this bad? Like, have you? I don't know how long you've worked in healthcare for, but have you had the demand like it is now and the lack of funding?
I think what I would say is what's exacerbated what's happening now is that during the period of lockdowns in Victoria, which was some 267 days, not that we're counting, a lot of people didn't access their usual networks in terms of their healthcare needs, in terms of their social needs. And so a lot of what's presenting now is on the back of people not managing some of those complex care needs that they've had. And look, the virtual platforms certainly allowed...
I imagine that virtual platforms, Chris, don't work well for the elderly.
They're very limited, as you can imagine. They did their best, and I think it was best to have that than to have nothing. But in terms of managing some of those, what we call managed care plans for more chronic conditions, they certainly went by the wayside. So what you're having present to ED now are people that are really unwell because some of those chronic conditions haven't been managed.
Chris, thank you for that. I appreciate your insight, and it's always good. Anytime a nurse wants to call up, we'd love to hear from you. Drive at 3w.com.au or 133 693. And you could be in for the running for tickets to the 2026 Australian Open. We have double passes to the men's final and the women's final to be won. Don't call now, but we are testing your knowledge across the day. Here is this hour's clue. She won 7 Grand Slam singles titles. So stay listening for the cue call later in the show. And if you know the answer, you're in the draw on next Monday to win the final tickets.
Let the white glove mover move it for you.
Traffic. Soldier House. Let the White Glove Mover handle everything. Packing, moving, unpacking, even cleaning.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. In Altona, there's been a collision on the Princes Freeway, Geelong bound, just after Corroboroi Creek Road. That's blocking the left-hand lane. Police are on site, and the queue is back to the Westgate interchange. City-bound on the Westgate Freeway, half-hour delays across the bridge and through the Burnley Tunnel. Works at Todd Road are packed up from the right lane. There was also briefly a broken-down car stopped inside the Burnley Tunnel. It's now been towed. In Craigieburn, the Amaroo Road exit coming off the Hume Freeway outbound has been reopened after a car fire, but crews remain on the scene in the left emergency lane.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people wait until Christmas to upgrade their phone. Smart people get a Black Friday deal with Amasim. Save big on Samsung, Apple, Google and Motorola. Up to 60% off selected phones. Amasim! Requires purchase of a SIM plan. Offer ends 2nd of December. T's and C's apply.
Live sport, great entertainment and Black Friday savings. What a combination. That's exactly what you'll get with the Foxtel Black Friday sale. With countless streaming options available today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Luckily, with Foxtel's Black Friday sale, you can simplify your entertainment experience by bringing together your favourite shows, movies and sports all in one place. Get the world's best drama, watch over 50 sports live, plus select sports in 4K Ultra HD. Experience blockbuster movies, discover the best lifestyle and reality shows. Enjoy Foxtel originals, everything from Netflix and HBO Max as well. For Foxtel's Black Friday sale, visit foxtel.com.au today. New customers only. Offer ends December 1.
Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale. Save up to 50% off our already low prices on selected robotic vacs. Shop manual coffee machines from just $237 and ovens from a hot $479. Plus, big brand fridges from just $388. Washers from under $500 and dryers from just $342. Plus, grab a 75-inch TV from just $799. Best brands, best range, best prices. There's more in store. Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
Spring forward to your new home at Ingenia Lifestyle, designed exclusively for over 55s. Discover beautifully designed and low-maintenance homes and enjoy resort-style amenities that support wellness and social connection. Book a personal tour and see the communities for yourself. Search Ingenia Lifestyle Victoria to book a tour today.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Todd Woodbridge. We all want to live our best life, and if you're over 55, an Inviva Home Equity Release Loan could give you the financial freedom you're looking for. It's a loan that lets you access the equity in your home. Take it as a lump sum, regular income payments, or as a line of credit, whatever works for you. Find out how much you could access at inviva.com.au. INVIVA. Applications are subject to credit approval. Fees, charges, terms and eligibility criteria apply. Consider whether reverse mortgage is right for you.
3AW Drive, powered by Signet's Black Friday sale. Buy one Prime power bank, get one free. That's two for the price of one. Exclusive to Signet.com.
It is 10 minutes to 4. Do you spend time in the Oakley area? 133693. And how does it compare with your local neighbourhood? Because there was this really cool piece in The Age by Vicky Kyriakopoulos, who's a writer and author of several Lonely Planet Greek guides. And she called Oakley the Greekest place you can visit outside Greece. I love this. She's on the line now. Vicky, hello.
Hi, Jackie. Great to be here.
Oh, well, thanks for coming on. Hey, so why did you say that? I love Oakley. I haven't been down there for, I think I went maybe 6 months ago or so, but it's got such a good vibe, doesn't it?
It has. I did say arguably, and so I think the headline was kind of a bit more definitive than that. So there's been a few people pop up and say, what about Cyprus? What about other places? But it was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but no, it's actually, certainly in Australia, and I can't really think of any diaspora community really that compares.
And what you obviously, in your piece, it's the Age do this, they look at a little suburb every week or every couple of days with someone who lives there. And you talked about moving from inner Melbourne out to Oakley and then taking tours there. So I imagine you've seen it change quite a bit over the years.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I had actually never been I'd been a couple of times to Oakley on the periphery, but I've never been into that pocket until we sort of virtually moved into that area, and hadn't really understood, the appeal. But it was much quieter back then. So probably in the last 15 to 20 years, it's kind of changed significantly. But it's kind of gone from this, especially the mall, which is, I guess, when people say they're going to Oakley, they're thinking about eating more. And it was always it's been a pedestrian zone for since the late 70s, but sort of more retail, etc., a few restaurants. It was pretty quiet. But there's just this scene that's developed, I guess, over the last 15 years, slowly and gradually. It took a bit of a hit during COVID. But yeah, and it's one of the few places where it's like a Greek town, European sort of village square, because it's all there's lots of tables outside, it's bustling with people. So I think the physical environment really, it's not a through street, it's not a high street. So it's very busy on balmy nights and weekends. It's teeming with people, and it's kids can play around. It's safe. It's been a very family friendly place.
I love the idea of a town square in the suburbs of Melbourne, because I think so few communities have that opportunity to kind of gather in the one spot like that. But you do walking tours through Oakley. What are the highlights, especially in terms of the food?
Look, I did that with SBS Mavo Mara before COVID. We haven't been doing them since. And that was in a period where, Oakley was developing, but Saturday morning in particular, when they ran the walking tours, were always kind of this sort of market day, festive tour. So, and we used to just go through into the back sort of kitchens and into the Oakley market itself, at the delis there. It changed over the years, but just into some of the restaurants, into some of the kind of traders. But I think the highlight was people seeing just how lively it was, and not really being surprised by what they saw there, because it is off the beaten track a little bit, and just the passion of the people for what they do, their pride in their culture, and newfound pride. So this is both people who there are businesses there that have been there for a long time and have been taken over by sort of second generations, and then there's a new wave of people who came in after the sort of Greek financial crisis in about 2010. You saw a lot of new people come to Oakley looking for work or looking for, connection to community, and then eventually setting up a lot of their own businesses or working in the businesses and bringing like this fresh take on like both produce and cakes and sweets and things that certainly added to that sort of variety and that interest.
I love it. Vicky, thank you. That's Vicky Kyriakopoulos, who's a writer and author of several Lonely Planet guides. So 133693. What's the best Greek restaurant in Melbourne? Because Nico's, they have the cakes down there and a few other places as well in Oakley. But if you frequent Oakley regularly, tell me why you love it.
3AW Traffic. With the right digital agency handling your SEO, your business could stand out and grow fast. Search Web Oracle and wake up famous.
Hello, Dan Belling from Transport Victoria. In Altona, multi-car collision on the Princes Freeway, Geelong bound, just after you pass underneath Coraroy Creek Road. The two left lanes are now blocked with police on the scene. The queuing's back onto the Westgate Freeway and the M80 Ring Road. City-bound Westgate Freeway, half-hour delays across the bridge through the Burnley Tunnel are easing after earlier works packed up and a breakdown in the tunnel was towed. In Craigieburn, the Amaru Road exit off the Hume Freeway outbound has been reopened after an earlier car fire. Still got crews there in the left emergency lane, so please slow to 40 and pass with caution.
True True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Stop paying BAS again and again and again. Pay.com.au it instead and get points. With Pay.com.au, you can earn uncapped rewards on all the business expenses you're already paying. From rent and payroll to ATO and yes, BAS. Paid through the Pay.com.au platform and you'll earn points on bank transfers and even more on your credit cards. Your mandatory BAS payment could turn into business class flights. Pay.com.au it and start getting rewarded today.
This Black Friday at Specsavers Audiology, we've got an offer worth hearing about. Buy a pair of Advanced Elite plus AI hearing aids and get $1.99 off glasses. Book an appointment with a Specsavers hearing expert today. Conditions apply. Always follow the directions for use.
Meet Joe and Diana. Like millions of older Australians, their wealth was in their home.
Joe's pensions were fine for us, our everyday needs, but we couldn't buy anything big or go on holiday. And then Household Capital arrived, and fairy godmother it was.
Household Capital helped Joe and Diana unlock the equity in their home to enjoy retirement and give them a safety net.
We used money from our Household Capital reverse mortgage to go over to Vancouver, where I've got family.
The key to a comfortable retirement is unlocking the wealth in your home.
The best thing we've got from Household Capital is peace of mind in our old age. We don't have to worry about medical or basic expenses. It's there should we need it.
Find out how you can benefit from a reverse mortgage with Household Capital. Use the online calculator at householdcapital.com.au or talk to a retirement specialist on 13 1306. Terms, conditions, fees, charges and eligibility criteria apply.
Know someone who's spent a lifetime supporting their loved one with a disability. As they get older, they worry about what will happen if they can no longer care for them. They know they need to sort out housing, but navigating the NDIS can be challenging and overwhelming. You can help. Encourage them to call Hearth Australia. We'll guide them through the NDIS and provide a long-term housing solution for their loved one. Hearth Australia, supported independent living across Melbourne and Bendigo. Visit hearthaustralia.com.au.
Drive on 3AW, powered by Lexus of Blackburn. Experience amazing with a test drive from Lexus of Blackburn, LMCT 10093.
It's almost 4 o'clock. In terms of community gathering places, does Oakley beat Lygon Street in its prime? And we'll also take a look at insurance. If you follow the breakfast program with Ross and Russ, you'll have heard Ross talking about these staggering increases to household insurance premiums. Have you received your bill? 133693. And where were you when John Aloisi scored that famous penalty?
Visit the win page at 3aw.com.au and enter our latest competitions. Melbourne's 3AW 693.
24 degrees in Melbourne, showers tomorrow, a top of 21. It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tardio. A young father shot dead at Altona North this morning has been identified as 26-year-old Ibi Hamid. Neighbours say he was well known in the area. The 26-year-old was shot in the backyard of a home in 2nd Avenue. The home is believed to belong to his grandmother. This neighbour says it's heartbreaking for his young family.
Very upset for them, especially the little one. She's going to be raised like... She's about 2 now. She's going to be raised without a father, not knowing her dad.
An 84-year-old woman will face court later this week after she was charged following the death of a 6-year-old boy killed while walking to school in regional Victoria. The vehicle involved allegedly left the scene and was later located at an address in Teesdale. The woman has been charged with failing to stop, failing to render assistance and failing to report a collision. Opposition leader Jess Wilson has offered to put politics aside and work with the Allen government on a plan to lift Victoria out of debt. Stephanie
The
Wacklowitz.
state's record debt is estimated to reach $194 billion in 3 years' time, and opposition leader Jess Wilson says simply continuing to raise taxes will not work.
We will fully support the government in all serious attempts it makes to repair the budget. This must take precedence over party politics.
Ms Wilson has written to the Premier proposing a bipartisan commission which would provide recommendations to government to improve the state's finances in the short, medium and long term. The new opposition leader is yet to unveil her economic plan but has promised to cut taxes with no cuts to frontline services. The commission would be comprised of former Labor and Coalition treasurers, with Kim Wells and Michael O'Brien already signalling their willingness. Ms Wilson also suggesting Steve Bracks and John Brumby, but she has warned against the state's most recent former treasurer.
I would have concerns around Tim Pallas serving on this commission. In many ways, he has overseen the debt crisis in this state.
The Premier is yet to respond. At State Parliament, Stephanie Wacklowitz, 9 News.
One Nation leader Pauline Hanson has been suspended from the Senate for 7 days over her burqa stunt. She's been pushing to have the garment banned, claiming it's repressive for women and a security risk. In other news, Barnaby Joyce says he'll likely make a decision about his political future by the end of the week. He's expected to move across to One Nation. And the Transport Workers Union has reached an agreement with Uber Eats and DoorDash to set a minimum wage for food delivery drivers. If approved, hourly pay would jump by 25%. Finance news, the share market up 12 points, the dollar by 64.53 US cents.
No one beats Harvey Norman for Black Friday bargains with up to 35% off Windows 11 computers and up to 40% off monitors and gaming. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
North Melbourne on-baller Mia King, who's been sidelined for the past 6 weeks with a PCL injury, is available for selection for this weekend's AFLW Grand Final against Brisbane after returning to full training. Rue's teammate Ash Riddell says match committee has a tough call to make.
Mia is an amazing player, and I think she's shown that particularly in final series. If she comes in, we'll absolutely welcome her, and we know what she'll bring, and we can rely on her to play that finals brand of football. She's put her best foot forward. Whatever happens, that's a big call for the match committee. I'm lucky I'm not on there.
England is doubling down on their baseball tactics, sending just 3 fringe players to a practice match ahead of the day-night Gabbard test. And in a boost for the Aussies, fast bowler Josh Hazlewood has been spotted bowling for the first time since injuring his hamstring in a Shield match. That's the latest in news and sport.
3AW Sport, thanks to Amplimesh, protecting Aussie families for over 50 years. Available from Bulleen Screens and Security Doors. Made for Melbourne.
Downsize without compromise and live an easier life at your nearest Oak Tree Retirement Village. Our relaxed, welcoming and boutique environment will mean you know your neighbours, but have the independence you want and the peace of mind you need. Why not spend less time on maintenance, more time making new friends? Discover why our residents love to call Oak Tree home. Find your nearest village at oaktreegroup.com.au or call 1300 367 155.
Traffic for 3 Point Motors Mercedes-Benz. 2 locations, 1 seamless experience. Explore new demonstrator pre-owned vehicles and vans with expert service and finance. Visit today.
Hello, Dan Belling, Transport Victoria. In Altona, multi-car collision, Princes Freeway, Geelong bound, just after you pass underneath Coverroy Creek Road. The 2 left lanes are blocked with police on the scene. Already half-hour delays back to the end of the Westgate Freeway and coming down off the M80 Ring Road. City bound on the Westgate, 22-minute delays across the bridge into the Burnley Tunnel after an earlier breakdown. In Tullamarine, a collision on the Mickleham Road outbound exit off the Tullamarine Freeway. The right lane's blocked at the lights. Fire crews are also parked on Mickleham Road southbound. And Mulgrave broken down bound Springvale Road southbound before Princes Highway.
At 3 Point Motors, your Mercedes-Benz is our passion. Whether it's your first scheduled service or a trusted companion of 12 years, our team is here for every stage. Visit us in Fairfield or Epping for exclusive opportunities across brakes, tyres and more. Professionally fitted with genuine parts. Enjoy the convenience of a service demonstrator while we care for your car. Visit 3 Point Motors today. T&Cs apply. LMCT 433.
Black Friday just got a serious power up. Signet is doubling power on Signet Prime power banks. Buy one, get one free. That's right. Buy either a Signet Prime 10K or 20K power bank and get a second free. That's the same model and the same capacity. One for you, one for a friend, one for travel, one for home, one for work, one for play. Hurry, this offer is only available at Signet.com and T's and C's do apply. Charge forward with Signet.
3AW weather. Snooze Black Friday starts now. Up to 60% off selected mattresses and up to 40% off selected bed frames. And Sunday.
Showers tomorrow, possible thunderstorms, top of 21 after an overnight low of 15. Thursday, a shower or two, 18. Friday, showers increasing, 23. Saturday, showers, 19. Sunday, a shower or two, 21. Monday, showers increasing, and 18. On the bays, there's a strong wind warning, westerly winds to 30 knots. It's 24 at Frankston in the city, also 24 degrees. Tony Tardio, Melbourne's own 3AW.
On 3AW and across Victoria. Drive with Jackie Felgate.
It is 7 minutes past 4. Thanks for your company on this beautiful day in Melbourne. A couple of emails first. You can drop us a line, drive at 3w.com.au. Maureen says, you have certainly hit a chord with me about the north. I live in Epping. The growth out here is staggering. The infrastructure is appalling. There are no hospitals north of Epping, so it has to take all patients from the northern. The hospitals are one problem. Public transport and roads are another. If you are not at any of the stations before 7 a.m, you simply cannot get a parking spot. People talk about the west being left behind, but not enough people are talking about the north. So let me know, 133693, is Maureen right? If you can't get to the station before 7, can you not get a parking spot to park your car so you can get the train into town? And then a number of other messages we've held off air talk about the fact that in some estates you have to queue like an hour to get out of an estate because there's not enough road maintenance and not enough new roads coming in and out. And just on Oakley as well, if you regularly go there, why do you? Richard, hello.
Hello, Jackie. Thanks for being the voice of Victoria on all things. Regarding Oakley, went to Nico's recently for a brunch. It was fabulous.
Yes.
But the most interesting thing about Oakley after that was we lined up at a butcher there to get some meat. 40 minutes we were in the queue and the meat was fantastic, but it's the sign of a good business.
Did you get the lamb, Richard?
Got the lamb, yes.
The lamb on the spit, yeah? It's the, I know people that go there, Richard, to get like the whole lamb kind of thing and then you put it on the spit for a backyard barbecue.
Great experience.
Fantastic. Thanks, Richard. Soto, hello.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Good, Soto.
Now, the best Greek restaurant in Melbourne by far is a restaurant in Coventry Street, South Melbourne, called Egli.
Oh.
It's pronounced E-G-L-I, but it's spelt A-E-G-L-I.
Yes.
Yanni does modern Greek. It is fabulously clean. It is modern. It's sleek. Fabulous cocktails. It is wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you, Soto. South Melbourne for Greek. 133693, best Greek restaurants of Melbourne. Always happy to get your tips. And at 9 minutes past 4, I did want to come back to story. I meant to do this story yesterday and we ran out of time because I obviously listen, like all of us, to Ross and Russ and the Rumour File and Ross's opinions every day. And he's been talking this week about home insurance premiums and he received his renewal notice. And I wonder if this has happened to you.
My home insurer is trying to tell me that home insurance costs in Victoria have gone up 30%. And that I should therefore be grateful that my premium has only gone up 18%.
Has this happened to you? 133693. How much are you paying for your home insurance premium? And we know why. We know why. Because you can't park your car anymore in your driveway without paying extra. Like I know some car insurance people that have applied for car insurance. And they haven't even gotten, they won't even insure them at all if they live in suburbs like Brighton, for example. The premium is so high or they won't even take on the burden if you don't have a locked up garage or a locked up gate. And then on top of that, home insurance premiums. Why are Victorians more expensive? 133693. Have you received your insurance bill and how much was it? Sarah Orr is an insurance expert at comparethemarket.com.au. Sarah, hello.
Hey, Jackie, thanks so much for having me on. This is our favourite topic, insurance.
Well, tell us, is Ross right? Has Victoria, are we all getting screwed more than every other state?
Well, look, we started tracking new insurance quotes for a typical four-bedroom home in our 5 biggest capitals a year ago. And now we can say that in that year, In Melbourne, the premiums went up 26.5%. These are new quotes. So you can only imagine if you have held on to your insurance provider for a number of years, the situation could actually be a lot worse for you. In real terms, we have seen those premiums change by about $542. That's what's been added onto the premium. So it is a lot of money. And obviously, Melbourneites and Victorians will pay less on average than people in Sydney and Brisbane, for example, where we do have a lot of storms and floods. But the change is still really significant for those people.
So do we still pay less for our insurance than interstate?
You do. So
that's good.
You have seen a bigger year-on-year change percentage-wise. So it's going to appear really dramatic if you're receiving that renewal notice in the mail. So
a 26.5% increase for new customers getting an insurance quote. What was it, for example, in New South Wales, the increase?
So the increase was 22.2% year on year, but in dollar terms, they had a bigger increase, $611. On average, Melbourneites are paying around $2,590 on average for a new insurance quote for a four-bedroom home, that is. So,
and how much does crime factor into that and theft of cars when it comes to our premiums here in Victoria, Sarah?
So it can factor in a lot. So insurers look at a range of different things when they're calculating your premiums. Theft is one of those. So if you are living in a high theft area where, maybe your neighbours have been hit or potentially you've made a claim, then that is going to have a negative effect on your premium in a lot of cases. So if crime's going up, unfortunately, that can flow on to premiums. But we always warn, insurers will make excuses for why premiums are going up, and some of them are justified, but that doesn't mean that your premium renewal notice is fair and that you should have to pay that renewal notice. You have lots of options. Call up the insurer and definitely challenge it. Shop around. If you've been with your insurer a number of years, absolutely. Have a look and see what else is out there, because the best deals are usually there for the new customers. There are discounts for people who, maybe purchase a product online and sometimes you might be able to switch back to that insurer after a couple of years as well. Your loyalty doesn't really serve anyone but the insurers. So take a look and at the very least call up your insurer and challenge them if you have an absurdly big insurance renewal
And have
notice.
you also heard, Sarah, that some people, they're refusing to insure, particularly with their cars, because they're in a high crime area?
Yeah, some insurers don't have a risk appetite for certain parts of the country at all. And, the other one that we see is, if it's a cyclone or flood-stricken area, the insurers are withdrawing from those areas. So if you have, if you live in an area where there are a lot of claims being made, yes, the number of insurers that offer policies in your area might be a bit smaller or sometimes a lot smaller. It really depends on that insurer's risk appetite. They all have a different sort of appetite for risk. It's all based on their claims history and your claims history.
Right. Sarah, thank you. So that's Sarah Orr from, and that was very interesting, comparethemarket.com.au, and that is what I wanted to know. So in Victoria, a four-bedroom home, an insurance quote this year has gone up by 26.5%, and that is $542 more. Joe, hello.
Hello, Jackie. How are you?
Good.
To be honest, I don't know how much my mother's home insurance went up, but the amount of it was just astronomical. It was just a normal, well, not normal. She's got a split-level house in Avondale Heights, and it was $2,500. So I thought, well, it's a bit much for an old pensioner. She's 95 years old, and she's been paying that for a couple of years. Now, I went on the competitive market, and I got a couple of quotes, and some of them were much lower than that. But one, especially, was absolutely brilliant. It was just from 2,500 plus down to 1,100.
Wow. It's
So she's been ripped off big time, and we're just going to lapse.
And she's 95, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, thank you. And Sally, how did you go with your premium? How much are you paying?
4 years ago, it was $971. The next quote I got was $11,500.
$11,500?
Yes, for a year. And we live in the country, and they claim that we're in a flood-prone area, even though I never made a claim. I heard the woman talking before about shop around. You can't get insurance. Most of them will not insure you.
Sally, that's really interesting. Thank you. So 133 693. How much has your premium jumped? So compare the market. Sarah is saying that their new research for this year, 4-bedroom house in Melbourne, Victoria, 26.5% jump, which is almost $550 more than what you paid last year. So how much are you paying?
3AW Melbourne traffic. Bob Jane T-Marts won't be beaten with their best tyre price guarantee. Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you.
Hello, Dan Delling from Transport Victoria. In Altona, a collision on the Princess Freeway, Geelong bound at Cororoy Creek Road. The 2 left lanes are blocked with emergency services on site, so that leaves 2 lanes open. There's a 45-minute queue from Millers Road on the Westgate Freeway and coming down the M80 Ring Road. On the Mornington Peninsula Freeway, a collision Portsea bound after Springvale Road. Traffic's at a crawl from Governor Road. And in Tullamarine, an accident on the Mickleham Road outbound exit coming off the Tullamarine Freeway. The right turn lane's blocked at the lights services on the scene.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance. True.
And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
You know you want to start a business. What you don't know is how to make it a reality. GoDaddy Aero's got you. It uses AI to help you find the domain name that's right for you. Next, answer a few prompts, and with a couple of clicks, Aero will design a professional-looking website or storefront in minutes. Aero can even help you stay engaged with your customers. Just attach a professional email that matches your domain. With GoDaddy Aero, you can build a business without having to know a thing about this stuff. Just visit godaddy.com.au to get started. That's godaddy.com.au. Premium features require paid subscription. See terms on site.
At E&S, it's our biggest ever Black Friday sale with massive savings on kitchen, bathroom and laundry. That's massive savings on Miele, Bosch and Smeg. Massive savings on Westinghouse and LG. Massive savings on Fisher & Paykel and Asco. Plus massive savings on Caroma and Villeroy & Boch. Our consultants are kitchen, bathroom and laundry experts, and we won't be beaten on price. So visit one of our 12 showrooms today or shop online and get value the E&S way. Sale ends Monday. T's apply.
The perfect delivery. The final wicket. Every step is a test on your body. So when muscle ache and inflammation threaten your innings, DP Pain Relief Spray is your secret weapon. And after the match, use Ice Magnesium Muscle Recovery Spray for rapid cooling relief of any muscle cramps. Fast-acting temporary relief of pain from a brand you know and trust. Eat. Feel it work. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, you can rely on Red Spot to get you there. We're the all-Aussie family-owned car rental company in airports and cities across Australia with a modern fleet and 100% local Aussie service. And because our overheads are lower than our global competitors, we pass the savings on to you. At Red Spot, lower prices and real savings come standard. redspot.com.au 1300 66 8810. Red Spot.
Still burning money on high gas bills every month? You're not alone, and you don't have to anymore. At Local Energy Savers, we help Victorians slash their energy bills by upgrading old gas systems to efficient electric air conditioning and hot water heat pumps. Government rebates cover most of the cost, so you save thousands instantly and for months to come. Why keep burning cash on gas? Call 1300 28 71 64 or visit localenergysavers.com.au today. Local Energy Savers. Now that's savings.
You're listening to 3AW Drive. The White Glove Mover handles your items with care. Read the 5-star reviews at whiteglovemover.com.au.
It is at 20 minutes past 4. Thanks for your company on Drive. How much has your insurance premium gone up? Dave, hello.
Hey, my call's just for the previous listener, caller, if she's still listening. But similar thing happened to friends of ours. We live in Deepdale, and we're just actually on the outskirts of it, so it didn't affect us. But they got notified that they were now in a... saying that, they've lived out there for 25 years. The joint's never flooded. Even when we've had torrential rains, not even close to being flooded, but they've just announced it as a flood-prone area. And their insurance went up to like $11,000 themselves, but they can take off the flood sort of affected insurance, I guess, and they insured sort of the house for the rest of it. So if that helps her.
Wow. And so how big was your jump? Sorry, Dave?
About $10,000.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. And if, as you said, if you don't advocate, then you either don't have insurance or you're stuck paying it.
You can just take off that flood affected area. So if it does flood, well then you're not covered. But it's we've lived out there for 25 years and it's never flooded. So.
A good tip, Dave, and that caller was Sally. And I began the program today by talking about this. It's so funny. I've put it up on my Insta, but it's a sign at one of the metro train stations. Obviously, they're doing trials down there. And it says that passengers, there's going to be replacement buses on the Frankston line. But the station code for Frankston, it's it reads as though it's something else. So FKN is the station code. So the sign read FKN passengers. There's a replacement bus. Just made me laugh thinking about all the passengers down there going, are you serious? Peter, hello.
Hi, Jackie. Love your show. And whilst we're on Frankston, the Peninsula and Aquatic Recreation Centre located in Frankston, it's known as Park, was originally down as Frankston Aquatic Recreation Centre, and So I can't remember if they actually put the signage up and went, oh dear, and changed it, or someone went, oh dear, just before they put the signage up.
Peter, I love it. Hey, 2 bottles of the new De Bordelais Rosé from the King Valley. It just really makes me laugh, that kind of thing. So they had to change it, the Frankston Aquatic and Recreation Centre. Thank you, Peter. And Andrea's on the line with a really cool drive time tip. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, you've sent us some vision. You had a visitor last night in Thornbury. Can you tell our listeners what it was?
Yes. I had a fox. I'd ordered Uber Eats, and so the guy, he obviously dropped it off, and then I've gone to grab it, and it's disappeared. And then so I've checked my cameras, and within the span of like 5 minutes, a fox just came and stolen my order.
And he didn't get into the bag. He picks up the bag, Andrea, like he or she, like they're actually carrying their little takeaway order themselves.
Yeah. He picked up the whole bag and ran off into the street.
So good.
And then the next day I found that he ate everything. He ate pretty well.
And what was in there?
He had loaded fries, 2 burgers. So he was living the dream.
Loaded fries and 2 burgers. I love it. Where do you get your Uber Eats from, Andrea?
It was from Westgarth Burgers.
Westgarth Burgers. The fox is a fan. And did you reorder or did you just go hungry last night?
I went hungry last night. I let him have it.
Good on. Hey, Andrea, you can have some wine too. I can't give you any burgers, but I can give you 2 bottles of the new De Bordelais Rosé from the King Valley. I'll put you back to Catherine. Has anyone got a fox problem? I have a fox problem at the moment, and Andrea's fox may be eating burgers from the Westgarth Burger Shop, but unfortunately our fox appears to be eating small ducklings, and it's very, very sad and distressing. So if anyone has, we have some wild ducklings on the property at the moment. We have 2 flocks of them, and they are so gorgeous. And one flock started with 13, and now there are only 6. And then we had some new babies born yesterday or the day before. We just saw them last night, and I'm very worried. But I don't know what to do with these ducklings because they're wild. But the fox is having a field day out there. It's very sad. But if you're in suburbia, Has a fox ever taken your Uber Eats or anything else from your front doorstep?
On 3AW Drive, a finance update. Take the stress out of tax and consider appointing a new tax agent for your business. Visit rjsanderson.com.au.
Evan Lucas is along with Money News after 7. Evan, how did the market go today?
Yeah, hello, Jackie. Look, market was up 11.9 points to 85.37. Not surprising. It was a bit of a lacklustre day, despite the fact the US had a very good night overall. We are gearing up for tomorrow's inflation read. First time in over 40 years, the inflation read will be different to how it is. It'll be the monthly read with everything. But what's more interesting, the Treasurer has just actually come out and suggested that we should expect an uptick in inflation.
So what will that mean?
That will mean that he expects the overall increase in the October inflation figures to be higher than what they were, which means it'll probably be about 3.4% for core inflation and possibly as high as 3.6% for headline inflation.
And what does that mean for interest rates?
Not good news.
Yes, exactly.
So I think what it is, look, we do have one more on the 9th of December for this calendar year. That one was already gone, Jackie. The question would be, what would February's meeting look like and whether or not there's a chance of, outlaying 2026 rate cuts. More increases in that figure is putting less and less likelihood on not just cuts, but the pressure to the upside of rate hikes.
Okay.
And that, I think, is the discussion for 2026.
Evan, thank you. That's Evan Lucas. Money News is on after 7. And Jay's on the line. I just asked the question, has a fox ever stolen anything from your front doorstep? Jay, hey, how are you?
I'm good. My fox took my football shoes.
Took your footy boots, Jay?
Yeah.
And did you get them back at all, or did he run away with them?
So he ran away and he took them for a night, and then we found it. Someone picked it up and found it on their letterbox.
That is so funny, Jay. Thank you. Jay is 10. How good is Jay? 133693. Has a fox ever nicked anything from you? And I think they have kind of quite an interest in shoes. Fox, if you leave your shoes out in suburbia, they will come and they will. Like Jay, they took his football boots. News headlines with Tony Tardio. Any foxes where you live, Tony?
No, but there was
some silver foxes.
There was a few of those. There was a snake, like a boa constrictor or something.
What?
Yeah, in the northern suburbs of Melbourne, escaped from as a pet.
When was this?
Some years ago.
Oh.
And I don't know if they ever found it.
So it might still be kind of somewhere.
Well, it might be in the Yarra River. People want to swim in the Yarra.
Wouldn't have thought so.
Plenty of snakes
No,
there.
thank you.
Jackie, coming up in the news at 5 o'clock, investigations are continuing into the death of a 26-year-old Werribee man after he was found with a gunshot wound at a property at Altona North early this morning. Police now believe the death is a case of misadventure with a firearm. The dead man has been identified as Ibi Hamid. One Nation leader Pauline Hanson says she is not bothered by the decision to suspend her from the Senate for 7 days. Senator Hanson caused a stir after entering the chamber late yesterday dressed in a burqa. So-called gig workers have struck a world-first pay deal with the Transport Workers Union. The draft standards set out minimum pay and safety requirements for food delivery platforms DoorDash and Uber Eats. And in sport, promising signs for Australia with injured Quicks Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins training today as they both aim to be fit to make an Ashes return. Cummins spotted practising with a pink ball ahead of next week's day-night test at the Gabba in Brisbane. Details at 5.
Tony, thank you. Your drive time tips are always welcome. Thanks to Temper. A great night's sleep night after night. The difference is Temper. Coming up, so looking forward to this. Behind the news with John Aloisi, former Socceroo that scored that famous penalty 20 years ago. And we've got some audio from the night called by our very own Tony Leonard. I've not heard it before. We're going to play it to John after this.
Let the white glove mover move it for you. Traffic. Sold your house? Let the white glove mover handle everything. Packing, moving, unpacking, even cleaning.
Hello, Dan Belling, Transport Victoria. In Altona, a collision on the Princes Freeway, Geelong bound, just after you pass underneath Coverroy Creek Road. The left lane's blocked. Crews have been able to open up an extra running lane, should start to assist the 40-minute queue that's back to Millers Road on the West Gate and coming down the M80 Ring Road. Mornington Peninsula Freeway, an accident at Portsea bound up to Springvale Road. It's slow going from before Governor Road. Tullamarine, a collision on the Mickleham Road outbound exit off the Tullamarine Freeway in the right lane at the lights. The Western, Calder and Hume freeways all hitting their peak out of town.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Stop paying Bass again and again and again. Pay.com.au at Instead. You'll simplify all your business payments and earn uncapped rewards in the process. So pay.com.au it and start getting rewarded today.
Financial future should grow strong and sturdy, just like the mighty oak. At Acorn Wealth, they believe great fortune starts small and why they focus on helping you grow your wealth over time. They understand your goals, your needs and your priorities, creating a personalised plan that can be adapted as your life progresses. At Acorn Wealth, they do more than manage your money. They nurture it, providing expert advice and tailored financial strategies to ensure lasting wealth. So speak to the team at Acorn Wealth and start planting the seeds to grow, protect and enjoy your future. Visit acornwealth.com.au, authorised representative of Consultant Financial Advisors, AFSL 230323.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, Jamie Dury here. On my new show, Future House on Channel 9, we're tackling Australia's housing crisis head on, building 3 houses in 3 months with 3 real families. And yep, I'm one of them. We're using cutting-edge methods like prefab construction and 3D concrete printing. And we've teamed up with companies making a real difference, like CommBank, the first major bank to lend for prefab off-site construction. A game changer. Jamie Dury's Future House, Tuesday nights, 8:30 on 9 and 9 Now.
Most people think that their super fund retires when they do, so they withdraw their money or stop looking for ways to increase its value. But with Hester, our specialised services and products mean your super keeps working long after you stop. Hester, super with impact. Hester is issued by HEST Australia Limited. Before making a decision about this product, read the PDS and TMD at hester.com.au and consider if it is appropriate for you. Past performance does not indicate future performance.
We are not an aged care provider. We help you find one. Careabout is Australia's leading aged care comparison site. At Careabout, we've done the research, so you don't have to. And our advice is 100% free. Call today to speak with our friendly in-home care experts. We connect you with the quality care you deserve. Careabout.com.au. Because at Careabout, we believe no one should face the aged care journey alone.
3AW Drive, the Berkowitz Blackout Sale starts now. Up to 25% off Stressless, 40% off select lounge and dining, even more off floor stock, only at Berkowitz.
It is at 26 minutes to 5. We've got a very special guest on Behind the News today. You'll know him well. His name is John Aloisi.
Now on 3AW Drive.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today.
Behind the News.
Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. Great story. Compelling and rich.
Take the stress out of tax and consider appointing a new tax agent for your business. Visit rjsanderson.com.au.
So I'm sure all of our listeners know who this man is, but he gave us one of our greatest sporting moments in our history, the first Australian to play and score a goal in 3 of the biggest international soccer leagues in the world, La Liga in Spain, the Premier League in England and Serie A in Italy. And post his playing career, he's gone on to be a respected and successful commentator and manager across the A-League. His name, as I said, is John Aloisi. But if you don't know the moment, if you're a little bit younger, I remember being in Fed Square the night of this moment, and I was at uni, or I just finished uni, and no, I was working. I was actually working at the Herald Sun 2005, and I remember we all went into Fed Square, and this is the moment, and the reaction of that crowd was one of the great sporting moments of my life. So this is the call: Shane Healy, Tony Leonard, Peter Vlahos and Frank Farina.
If Johnny Aloisi scores, we're at the World Cup. That's it. This kick for John Aloisi to put Australia into the World Cup. Aloisi. Now.
Frank, you know him. Take our listeners through what's John Aloisi.
He scored in the Confederations Cup against Argentina. Look, I don't know. If this is the kick to get us to the World Cup.
I don't care if broadcast another minute on radio. Here we go, Aloisi.
Yes!
Australia is there! Australia is there! Australia is the World Cup! This game has arrived! Soccer has arrived in Australia!
Oh my goodness! Look, the place has gone mad. These yellow streamers are streaming to the roof. I'm being embraced here by people everywhere. This is unbelievable. Frank Farina, try and get your headphones on, mate. Oh, being kissed. I can't believe it. Frank, unbelievable. This is incredible. We're going to Germany. Mark Schwarzer again, as in 93, he's put Australia into the World Cup for the first time in 32 years. Unbelievable.
How good is that? John Aloisi, do you still get goosebumps?
Well, listening to that, I do. I haven't heard that one. I usually hear the SBS with Simon Hill and Craig Foster because that's what people show me on whenever I go somewhere. But to hear that, and especially Frank Farina, who was our coach of our national team just before that, and his reaction means a lot because he felt the national team so much as a player and as a coach, failed to get there with both, but finally to see us get there, I can imagine what it felt like for him as well.
You know, it's so interesting that you say I haven't heard that because none of us have, and our team behind the scenes, Lawrence and Damien, found that in the 3AW archives. And I thought, it's funny because you do hear historic calls all the time, but that one kind of got lost for a little while, which I think is lovely. But I guess, can you take us back to that moment? And for you, I guess it's probably, would you say it was the greatest moment in Australian soccer history?
Yeah, well, it did send us back to the World Cup finally after 32 years of trying. There was so much heartache leading into that. I was in two previous campaigns where we failed, 97 against Iran here at the MCG, which was a disaster, and then Uruguay 4 years earlier. So that night there, not only for myself, I think for nearly everyone who followed the game for so long, was one of the best nights in Australian soccer history. And then we went to the World Cup and we performed really well and we took the eventual champions all the way. So we showed the world what we can do on the world stage in terms of football. But I do still get goosebumps listening to that. I still get emotional sometimes when I hear people's stories about where they were and what they were doing. And I haven't heard about people at Fed Square. I've seen the footage, but I just heard that you were at Fed Square.
Yeah, I was. I lived around the corner, and I remember we all went down there and watched it because it was quite late from memory when that happened Australian time. I feel like it was quite late at night, obviously. But for you, what goes through your head in a moment like that, and how do you calm your mind?
Well, we practiced penalties the night before, and so all that I was actually thinking about was the penalties that I took the night before. I ended up staying behind after training and took 5 penalties all down that end. I put them in the same corner. I had my run-up marked up, and so from the halfway line to the penalty spot, all I was saying to myself is do exactly what you did last night and we're going to the World Cup. And that way there I was able to block out all the noise, all the tension, and I wasn't nervous. I was actually really confident because I hit him well the night before. And as I put the ball down, went back to my run-up, all I was doing was just concentrating on striking that ball and making sure I struck it well. And as soon as I hit it, I knew I hit it well, and the keeper would probably have no chance of saving it. But the relief when you see the net move, that's another story.
Yeah, exactly. And what is it like? You'd almost feel sick, wouldn't you? Like that relief the moment you know you've done your job.
Well, no, I didn't feel sick. I felt a lot of joy, I can tell you that. I ran directly to where my family were sitting because they go through the highs and lows that every sportsman goes through and athlete. And so I wanted to celebrate with them. And and the shirt came off. That was a bit spontaneous. That was just all the emotion come out of all the years of training and playing and watching our national team fail to get to the World Cup. It all just came out in that moment. So I didn't feel sick. I just felt elated.
I feel sick listening to it. I always get so nervous. Now, the Socceroos is as our national team and our Australian team, and I'll also ask you about the Matildas as well. But how would you describe the state of soccer in Australia right now?
Look, our league is not in the best state at the moment. I think the A-League is a bit at a crossroads. They're sorting out a new television deal for next few years, so hopefully that will get done very soon. The clubs need to try and be sustainable and not lose as much money as they've been losing. The crowds are being low. But I will say our Socceroos and our Matildas are still producing the goods. I think we're still producing really good players to play for our Socceroos. We've got a young side now that I think that, they're bursting onto the scene thanks to our A-League. And Matildas have got an Asian Cup coming up here in Australia, which will be huge again. We saw how huge the World Cup was. And we think Matildas can go all the way and win this one. So I think our national teams are doing well. Our league is suffering a little bit, and we need to try and get that back on track.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because when you look at children that play soccer as a sport opposed to AFL, like I feel like lots of young children, like the popularity of soccer as a broad sport for kids appears to be more popular than it's ever been before.
It is the most played sport in Australia at grassroots, youngsters, boys, girls, and even adults. There's a lot of leagues, over 40s, over 50s. So everyone plays the game. It's just that now we have to try and get them to support a team in the A-League. Now, that can be difficult because there's so many teams around the world, and the access to watching the Premier League or La Liga, Serie A is a lot easier now. So they like to follow those leagues. People don't really want to go to the stadiums as much. So this is a little bit different with the other codes. With Aussie rules, AFL and NRL, really this is a league. You've got no other league to follow. So that can be challenging, but we have to try and get players that play the game at a young level to try and follow their club in their city or their region.
And what's your suggestion to get people to do that?
I think hopefully West United get back in the league. That will be nice at first. And then I think that making that, that you've got Western, you've got Melbourne City that will be more out in a different area, and Melbourne Victory probably will be majority of Melbourne. But I think that once you start to put people saying this is your area and this is who you will, they will represent you, I think that's a lot easier for people then to follow, because just say Western United, the people of the West really want to support something, want to go to somewhere where they can call their home, their community, and have people to represent them. I think that's a way of growing the game and getting people to come, not just to watch the game, but to feel part of something. And they're doing that in Western Sydney with the Wanderers. They're doing that with Sydney FC in the other parts of Sydney. So let's hope they can do that here as well in Melbourne.
And what's next for you on a personal level?
I want to coach. I'll get back into coaching. So I'm just waiting to see what will happen with Western United, but also if another opportunity comes along, I'll see. I've had a few offers, but nothing that I really felt that was going to be best for my career. So, but I do want to coach again, and hopefully one day be able to go overseas and coach overseas. Yeah,
good on you, John. It's been great to have you on the program. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I love listening to that audio and talking to John. So wonderful, 3693. Were you ever present for a great moment in history? Like, where were you? Do you remember where you were when? Do you remember where you were when man walked on the moon? Do you remember when you were? Lots of people will say, I remember where I was when I found out Princess Diana died. Like, that was something that I think sticks in a lot of people's minds. But also great sporting moments. Do you remember where you were when?
Here we go, Eloise. Yes!
3AW Traffic. With the right digital agency handling your SEO, your business could stand out and grow fast. Search Web Oracle and wake up famous.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. Altona Collision Princes Freeway, Geelong bound after Corroboroi Creek Road has the left lane locked. Tow trucks are loading up, hopefully out of there soon. There's 40-minute delays from Todd Road outbound on the Westgate Freeway to get onto the Princes. Allow an extra half hour coming down the Ring Road from Ballarat Road. Tullamarine accident on the Mickleham Road outbound exit off the the Tullamarine Freeway, blocking the right lane at the lights. And an accident on the Mornington Peninsula Freeway. It's Portsea bound after Springvale Road. It's a very busy run coming down from Governor Road.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
There's tennis, and then there's tennis turned up. Hear the difference for yourself at the United Cup Finals in Sydney, Ken Rosewall Arena, January 3rd to 11th. Search United Cup tickets.
Mirvac is proud to present a limited collection of 3 premium Melbourne residential addresses, all bound by natural beauty and shaped by Mirvac's unwavering legacy of design and delivery. Each offers a curated selection of residences united by timeless architecture, refined interiors, premium resident amenity and enduring value. Following the benchmarks set by the Melburnian and the Eastbourne, these new residences are designed to inspire confidence today and for generations to come. This is the Mirvac Legacy Collection, proudly designed and delivered by Mirvac, trusted for more than 50 years. To discover more, visit legacycollection.mirvac.com.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
You know you want to start a business. What you don't know is how to make it a reality. GoDaddy Aero's got you. It uses AI to help you find the domain name that's right for you. Next, answer a few prompts, and with a couple of clicks, Aero will design a professional-looking website or storefront in minutes. Aero can even help you stay engaged with your customers. Just attach a professional email that matches your domain. With GoDaddy Aero, you can build a business without having to know a thing about this stuff. Just visit godaddy.com.au to get started. That's godaddy.com.au. Premium features require paid subscription. See terms on site.
This Black Friday, get a whole year of OnePass for half the price. Pay just $20 for an annual OnePass membership, then $40 a year thereafter. And get OnePass exclusive member benefits when you shop at Kmart, Target, Bunnings Warehouse, Officeworks and Priceline Pharmacy. It's the Black Friday deal that keeps on giving. So don't wait. Offer ends 1 December 2025. Join OnePass today. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Visit onepass.com.au.
With enterprise power and partnership spark, together builds better, impactful and smart. When all is connected, possibilities flow. Together builds better wherever we go. Enterprise size solutions from Telstra. Wherever we go.
3AW Drive, powered by Signet's Black Friday sale. Buy one Prime power bank, get one free. That's 2 for the price of 1. Exclusive to Signet.com.
It is 11 minutes to 5. We have double passes to be won to the Australian Open men's final and the women's final. So we're testing your tennis knowledge, and here is the second clue. She, along with her sister, redefined the sport with strength and athleticism. I know who it is now. Stay listening for your cue to call later in the show. And if you know the answer, you're in next Monday's draw to win the tickets. Let's get into your calls again. Mark, hello.
Hello. I was present when Australia scored their first ever goal at the World Cup in 06 in Kaiserslautern. So, and also John Aloisi scored on that day as well. He scored the third goal.
How good, Mark. Was that one of the great highlights of your life?
After the birth of my 2 boys, yes. Yes, 100%.
Good on you, Mark. Thank you. And Phil, hello.
Yeah, hi, Jackie. You're a bit young for this, but I was at the Olympics in Montreal in 1976, and I was in the stadium the night when the famous Romanian
Nadia Comaneci.
Nadia Comaneci.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, she scored. She was the first person to score on an apparatus, 10 out of 10 on the uneven bars. I was there that night.
You were there. How amazing, Phil, yeah?
Yeah. It's a memory through my whole life to see, that it was the first time ever 10 out of 10.
And what was the audience, being in the audience, Phil? Like, what was their reaction at the time?
Well, they were blown away. They just applauded like anything, and she went on to be probably the greatest gymnast in history.
And you were there, Phil.
Yeah.
Good on you. How fantastic. I love these stories. Like everyone, you carry these moments throughout your life, don't you? And if you listen to the show regularly, you would have heard me a lot yesterday and over the past few weeks talking about jet ski behaviour. And we didn't realise how emotive this issue was. My issue is that it is incredibly dangerous. I've spoken to people whose relatives and loved ones died after being hit by jet skis. It is a free-for-all out there on the bay and something needs to be done. And we had some vision, which a lot of our listeners rang in and they knew what I was talking about, and some were really angry and said that I'm unfairly targeting jet skis. But police have reached out to us today. So this was on the 2nd of November, which was the first hot day we had. And they've now charged someone. A man will be charged on summons after multiple jet skis were seen hooning and being driven dangerously close to swimmers at St Kilda Pier. A 20-year-old from Dallas went to Broadmeadows Police Station and is now going to be charged on summons. And these are serious charges, right? Reckless conduct endangering life and dangerous operation of a vessel. Police will also lay 3 additional charges, and that's to do with the speed that he was going at and going within 50 metres of a swimmer. The investigation was triggered because of the video footage that we had, and they're looking for the rest of those jet ski people. And they've come out and said this, which I thought was interesting. Driving jet skis close to swimmers is stupid, reckless and puts the safety of others at risk. And they said the water police couldn't get there at the time because they were already doing search and rescue calls. All right, so your reaction to that, 133 693.
3AW Melbourne traffic. Bob Jane T-Marts won't be beaten with their best tyre price guarantee. Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you.
Hello, Dan Belling, Transport Victoria. In Altona, crews have cleared a collision from the Princes Freeway, Geelong bound at Corroy Creek Road. Lanes have reopened, but if you're about to head outbound on the Westgate Freeway, you're looking at an extra 50 minutes from the Domain Tunnel onto the Princes Freeway. 30-minute delays. Altona bound on the Ring Road from Ballarat Road. Mornington Peninsula Freeway, collision Portsea bound after Springvale Road. Heavy going from Governor Road. It's also affecting Springvale Road southbound through Waterways. And Tullamarine collision on the Mickleham Road outbound exit off the Tullamarine Freeway in the right lane of the lights.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Todd Woodbridge. We all want to live our best life, and if you're over 55, an Inviva Home Equity Release Loan could give you the financial freedom you're looking for. It's a loan that lets you access the equity in your home. Take it as a lump sum, regular income payments, or as a line of credit, whatever works for you. Find out how much you could access at inviva.com.au. INVIVA. Applications are subject to credit approval. Fees, charges, terms and eligibility criteria apply. Consider whether reverse mortgage is right for you.
These school holidays, visit Sydney and experience 5-star luxury at the Fullerton Hotel Sydney. The Fullerton Hotel Sydney is an enduring icon nestled in the heart of the CBD. You're close to the harbour and all the famous city attractions with theatres and the best shopping within minutes walking distance. Enjoy 10% off the best available rate, including a sumptuous buffet breakfast for stays between December 15 and 26, 2025 and January 9 to February 1, 26. Book online at fullertonhotels.com using the code 3AW to receive an additional 4 p.m. late checkout. Whether you're planning a romantic trip or a memorable family retreat to Sydney during the summer school holidays, the Fullerton sets the perfect stage. T's and C's apply.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, Jamie Dury here. Australia's facing a housing crisis, and I want to help change that. On my new show, Future House on Channel 9, we're taking on one big challenge. Can we build 3 homes in 3 months for 3 real families? And one of those families is mine. We're using cutting-edge construction methods like prefab houses built in a factory in 6 weeks and even 3D concrete printing, which we're using on our own farm. We've also teamed up with companies making a real difference, like CommBank, the first major bank to lend for prefab off-site construction. A game changer. The future of housing isn't just a dream, it's happening right now. Join me for Jamie Dury's Future House, Tuesday nights, 8:30 on 9 and 9 Now.
Drive on 3AW, powered by Lexus of Blackburn. Experience amazing with a test drive from Lexus of Blackburn, LMCT 10093.
It is coming up to 3 minutes to 5. Where were you when? Like, did you ever witness some moment in history? Like, I love the calls about major sporting events. Where were you when a drought was broken, like that amazing goal from John Aloisi that put Australia into the World Cup? Those magical sporting moments. And did you witness them? And also moments in history. Were you ever there? Or do you remember where you were for a significant moment in history? Jan, hello.
Hi. I was driving home from Queensland and I heard that Lady Diana had died in a car crash. And the next hour on the road, I was subconsciously aware of the fact that there were a lot of trucks not on the road. I pulled up for some petrol about an hour after, and I noted the amount of trucks that were parked around the apron and all into the petrol station. I was taken aback when I walked inside, and there would have been 50 plus truck drivers in their singlets, just all standing watching the television on the wall.
Wow.
And so many of them had it. I just remember it so much, having tears.
Oh, Jan, I
down
can
their
hear
faces.
yeah. And, you know, it was a different time too because people didn't have access to a TV like we do on our phones all the time. Like, it was different.
Oh, just to see these guys, you know, these big burly truck drivers, of which my son's one of them, but to see them so emotional just watching this little television that was on the wall in this remote service station on the coast coming back from Queensland. It was just amazing. I'll never forget that. That imprinted me so much to see these guys just emotionally watching the television. Incredible.
Oh, Jan, that is so beautiful. Thank you. And John, hello.
G'day, Jackie. I hope you're well. I was at the game in Sydney 20 years ago. I flew up with my brother that morning. The game was unbelievable. We're sitting behind the other coaches, and when Aloisi scored that goal, the biggest roar ever, we partied with the soccer players at Star City later that night.
Wow.
We didn't even book rooms to sleep in, and I was a young lawyer back then 20 years ago, and we flew back the next day. My boss at the time was going, where have you been? I just went and saw that we got into the World Cup. That's where I've been.
Oh, good on you, John. And did you go and watch them in the World Cup?
I've been to Germany 2006, South Africa 2010, and I'll go again next year to the World Cup in America for sure. I always follow Australia.
Good on you, John. Thank you. All right, we are running up to the news now at 5 o'clock. After 5, I want to come back to the cost of the suburban rail loop. It is... To prioritise that over health, crime and housing, I think, is insanity. Also, do you still eat Campbell's, like Campbell's soup? Because the Vice President of Campbell's say, listening, these are some of the most outrageous leaked comments you could ever hear.
One night, 2 deaths. Alva Beach, death at the door. New 60 Minutes podcast out now. Melbourne's 3AW 693.
24 degrees in Melbourne. Showers tomorrow. A top of 21. It's 5 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Tardio. Investigations are continuing into the death of a 26-year-old Werribee man after he was found with a gunshot wound at a property at Altona North early this morning. Julia Passarelli has more.
Police have recently revealed they believe this was a case of misadventure with a firearm. 26-year-old Werribee man Ibi Hamid was found in the backyard with a gunshot wound. Paramedics were called and did everything they could, but sadly the young father couldn't be saved. Now this all unfolded in his wife's grandmother's property. Police spent the day scouring the property for clues and hunting for CCTV in the area to try and piece together Ibi's final movements.
Premier Jacinta Allen has confirmed receiving a letter from opposition leader Jess Wilson offering to work with the government on tackling Victoria's debt. Ms Wilson has proposed setting up a debt crisis commission of former Labor and Coalition treasurers to advise the government. The Premier has rejected the offer, claiming the Liberals want the Labor government on board to make their cuts ideology appear less extreme. Gig workers have struck a world-first pay deal with the Transport Workers Union. The draft standard set out minimum pay and safety requirements for food delivery platforms DoorDash and Uber Eats. They've been filed with the Fair Work Commission for approval. Transport Workers Union National Secretary Michael Caine says it'll give these workers a life with dignity.
One of those times where we actually commend companies like Uber and DoorDash for being constructive participants and getting together a proposal which will change the lives of workers.
Mental health care has been explored as the inquest into Sydney's Bondi Junction stabbing attack enters its final stages. Josh Bryant in Sydney.
In a matter of minutes, 16 people were stabbed at Westfield Bondi Junction. 6 died as a result of their injuries. The attacker, who the inquest has heard had chronic schizophrenia, was shot dead by a police officer. Counsel assisting has told the hearings they submit that there was 77 seconds in which an alarm or alert could have been sounded inside the centre, which may have caused the last victim of the attack to react differently, but also acknowledged it's not possible to prove there would have been a different outcome. The coroner will also be asked to consider recommendations on a range of issues, including serious reforms for the mental health system. At the State Coroner's Court, Josh Bryant, 9 News.
In other news, a man and a woman have been charged following a police chase in Melbourne South yesterday. The 35-year-old man was remanded in custody. The 20-year-old Elwood woman has been released on bail. In finance news, the share market up 23 points, the dollar by 64.53 US cents.
Finance unbeatable Black Friday deals now at Harvey Norman. Shop TVs, fridges, laptops, mobiles, furniture, bedding and more. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale on now.
There are promising signs for Australia with injured quicks Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins training together today as they both aim to be fit to make an Ashes return. Cummins spotted practising with a pink ball, perhaps the best indication he'll play in next week's day-night test in Brisbane. England has passed up the opportunity to give their first-choice batters some match practice in this weekend's pink ball fixture in Canberra, only sending 3 fringe players from its test squad. West Coast has boosted its midfield by confirming the signings of experienced trio Devon Robertson, Finlay McRae and Harry Schoenberg. And Netball Australia has delivered a 10-year plan to surpass the Matildas as the most recognised national female team and is aiming for 2 million participants by 2035. That's the latest in news and sport.
Sport, powered by Signet's Black Friday sale. Buy 1 Prime power bank, get 1 free. That's 2 for the price of 1. Exclusive to Signet.com.
Stop paying BAS again and again and again. Pay.com.au it instead and get points. With Pay.com.au, you can earn uncapped rewards on all the business expenses you're already paying, from rent and payroll to ATO and yes, BAS. Paid through the Pay.com.au platform and you'll earn points on bank transfers and even more on your credit cards. Your mandatory BAS payment could turn into business class flights. Pay.com.au it and start getting rewarded today.
Traffic, powered by Signet's Black Friday sale. Buy 1 Prime power bank, get 1 free. That's 2 for the price of 1. Exclusive to Signet.com.
Hello, Dan Belling, Transport Victoria. Cleared a collision on the Princes Freeway Geelong bound after Collaroy Creek Road, but it's had a big effect now on the Westgate Freeway out of town. You're looking at 50-minute delays from the Domain Tunnel to get onto the Princes Freeway. Half-hour delays Altona bound on the Ring Road from Ballarat Road. Mornington Peninsula Freeway, an accident Portsea bound after Springvale Road. Slow run from Governor Road, also inspecting Springvale Road southbound through Waterways. Melbourne East, a collision blocking Waverley Road west of Darling Road. And Murrumbina, a broken down car North Road eastbound at East Boundary Road in the right turn lane.
Downsize without compromise and live an easier life at your nearest Oak Tree Retirement Village. Our relaxed, welcoming and boutique environment will mean you know your neighbours, but have the independence you want and the peace of mind you need. Why not spend less time on maintenance, more time making new friends? Discover why our residents love to call Oak Tree home. Find your nearest village at oaktreegroup.com.au or call 1300 367 155.
This Black Friday at Specsavers Audiology, we've got an offer worth hearing about. Buy a pair of Advanced Elite Plus AI hearing aids and get $199 off glasses. Book an appointment with a Specsavers hearing expert today. Conditions apply. Always follow the directions for use.
No one beats Harvey Norman for Black Friday bargains with up to 35% off Windows 11 computers and up to 40% off monitors and gaming. Go Harvey Norman Black Friday sale.
Showers, possible storm tomorrow, top of 21 after an overnight low of 15. Thursday, a shower or two, 18. Friday, showers increasing, 23. Saturday, showers easing, 19. Sunday, showers increasing, 21. Monday, showers, 17. Tuesday, a shower or two, and 17. It's 24 at Scoresby. In the city, 22 degrees. Tony Tardio, Melbourne's own 3AW.
Now on 3AW and across Victoria, Drive with Jackie Falgates.
It is 7 minutes past 5. Thanks for your company on Drive. I'm pleased to see that some of those Hoon jet ski riders are actually, the law has caught up with them. And well done to police for tracking them down. Because I mentioned this on the show yesterday about the fact that St Kilda Pier's been done up and it's like quite a popular place now, particularly for young people and backpackers to go and have a swim. And on the first hot day that we had in early November, it was absolutely packed and these hoons came right in and could have easily have struck someone. And the cops have thrown the book at this alleged offender, which is a good thing. And I think it's something that we do need to keep a bit of an eye on. And just where were you when a significant event happened? Kath, hello.
Hi, Jackie, and hello, everyone else. Many years ago when I was a teenager, I decided to wag school and go into the city and walk around and then I was meeting a few friends and I'm walking around Russell Street, and I don't want to make it sound like it's funny because a young lady lost her life, but I was but near the Russell Street bombing.
Oh, wow.
When it went off. And I got showered with glass and, you know, my ears played up a little bit. But the ambos, you know, got me and they'll say, you're going to the hospital just to get checked over. But I was more worried about me dad, you know, because I was wagging school and, you know, I was worried I was going to get the cuts for it, you know. So.
Oh, well, I would hope not, Kath. I'm assuming everyone was just glad that you were okay.
Well, that's it, yeah. But when you're a teenager, you just get worried about being sprung wagging because I'd been sprung wagging previous and got into a lot of trouble then. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, yeah, that's quite an amazing story. Kath was at the Russell Street bombing, showered with glass, but she was more worried about wagging school. And I've got lots of emails coming in as well on ducks and foxes. Wendy says, we have ducks, ducklings, rabbits and foxes. We are semi-rural and they have become very tame. They wait until the horses are fed and then they help themselves. We do see foxes with something in their mouths and it is so sad to see the duckling numbers reduce. And I agree, Wendy, and thank you for your email. All right, I want to come back to our top story now, and it is sadly, once again, the suburban rail loop. And if you're just tuning in, we started the program today because I was sent overnight about how busy the information about how busy the Northern Hospital was. And I think what it shows is that, one, people in the north and west are subject to a different set of conditions and a systemic lack of funding over generations now because they live in safe Labor seats and they're always going to vote Labor. So therefore, the government doesn't need to buy your vote. But more people are moving to that part of Melbourne than anywhere else. And we have a situation now where we have a hospital that is serving such a diverse and wide group of people, and the sheer population growth just can't keep up with it. So I think it's just 56% of people who attend the Northern Hospital Emergency Department are seen within the recommended time. And that's not a criticism of the Northern Hospital. They obviously do a great job. It is a criticism of the government that has failed to fund health services. And as we come up to the election and you see the government will start cutting, whether it's public service or elsewhere, you will see more funding to health cuts as well. So my question today was, when you look at that and you look at a community of people, particularly in the north, so heading out from Melton and Beveridge and Epping and all of those suburbs as they come out of Melbourne, those people have a poorer quality of life because they do not have the services that the people who live in the southeast have. And it got me thinking about Victoria and Melbourne and our government and the lack of investment in things that make a difference to our lives. And all of this, we are suffering in so many other parts of our lives, whether it be the road funding and potholes, whether it be cuts to health services and you not being able to see a doctor in the time that you needed, whether it be crime and funding to the police and AMBOs. All of these things go to our quality of life. And I said earlier in the show, what is it all for? What it is for a train line from Cheltenham to Box Hill, a $34.5 billion monstrosity. And the problem with this project is no one is coming clear on exactly how much it's going to cost. And Carl, what I might do is I might play you get our listeners if you're just tuning in. And I'm going to play you some audio now from the Public Accounts and Estimates Committee in Parliament. So this is where the departments have to front up and explain where all the money has gone. And so this is the head of the Department of Premier and Cabinet, so the boss, basically, of the bureaucracy, Jeremy Mule, and this is him talking about why the government is still using figures from 2021, $34.5 billion, saying that for some reason every other every other project has blown out by billions in this state except the mythical suburban rail loop.
Whether or not there's been any revision to the total estimated cost, no, there has not.
Have you requested one, given that it's 4 to 5 years out of date?
No, I feel like we're in the home stretch, but this has been a piece of work that at a point of time is going to be necessary for the government to announce, and we've been working towards that time frame.
Still not finalised after 5 years?
The government has not yet announced its decision.
No, but has it concluded its position?
I'm satisfied with the answer that I gave you, Mr. Welch.
I'm not, though. I'm not at all satisfied.
No one is satisfied, Mr. Mule. No one. And this government seems to think it's amusing to play games with people's lives and the funding, because at the end of the day, how do they get their money? They tax you. They put in extra services, extra taxes like the Airbnb levy, like the fire services levy, and they use the word levy instead of the word tax. Your land tax, all of these things go to fund the cost blowouts within the state government. And I think it's extraordinary that yesterday the Auditor-General released his independent report into the suburban rail loop. So why did he not subpoena documents from the Department of Treasury? Why has he not demanded the financials from the Department of Treasury? And why do we get such a weak response? The government is playing with numbers here. And what we don't know is how much it's gone up. But what we do know is that cost to build, whether it be major project or the suburban house, has generally gone up 22% in Victoria since 2021. So if you extrapolate that out, this project will come in, and I think it's going to be way more. I think it's going to be double. But say that we take the 22%, that's still $40 billion. And it's budgeted for 34. So where are we? We don't have even money for that. And now we've got to find another $6 or $7 billion. And it will be more. And that's why the government doesn't want to talk about it. So if you work in construction, tell me, how much extra does it cost to build a home? How much extra does everything in your life cost? But for some reason, whether it be buying a carton of milk or a loaf of bread or building a home, but for some reason, the one thing in this state that hasn't moved an inch is the suburban rail loop. That is a lie. 133 693. On the line now is Dr. Eric Keys. He's a PhD researcher at the Centre for Urban Research at RMIT. Hi, Dr. Eric.
Hello, Jackie. How are you?
Good. Now, how would you describe the funding for this project? And it concerns me now that the Auditor-General is unable to give us costings as well. And why didn't he go to the Department of Treasury and ask for more documents?
Well, the Auditor-General is always restricted by what information the departments are willing to give him. And I think in that recording, you heard fairly clearly the department isn't releasing any information. They're not releasing it to Parliament, and they wouldn't be releasing it to the Auditor-General either. You know, they work for political masters, and clearly the political masters have said we're not ready for these costings to be released, and everyone just then folds their hands and sits on them because, you know, any project that the Auditor-General did a report a couple of years ago into the management of projects and actually gave them the government gave the department a pretty good assessment in terms of how they track projects within the department. So I'd be fairly confident the department actually knows what the cost is. It's a political question as to whether that information is going to get released or not. And I think that was fairly clear in that recording you heard. But we should add, the suburban rail loop, it's a bit of a pile-on perhaps on the suburban rail loop. It's possibly not the worst project. I'm not going to defend the suburban rail loop, but these cost blowouts are occurring on the Westgate Tunnel project, on the North East Link project. I think the question that should be asked is how do we get ourselves into this problem of quickly announcing projects that seem to sound okay as a political promise without doing the work to actually know what are they going to do for the city? Is the area of need the southeast, or are there bigger areas of need in the west and the north, which I think is exactly your point. And, is there something broken with the way we make the decisions about choosing these projects? And I think the Leader of the Opposition has promised that she's going to pause and review the project. But by that stage, my guess would be more than $10 billion either spent or committed in contracts that have been let. And she'll be in a very difficult position then. Does she cancel it and waste that money, or does she make the hard decision and continue with it? She's in a fraught position at that point.
What would you do?
Well, if I was in her position, the inquiry I'd be having is what's broken with our decision-making system that causes us to get in this mess time and time again.
And what do you think that is? It's that major projects are let for political reasons, not for need, right?
Well, the government has set up Infrastructure Victoria, for example, and Infrastructure Victoria does a pretty good job of looking fairly sort of dispassionately and calmly at these projects. They release a report of projects that have been through, a degree of deliberation and investigation, and it's a list. Anything promised on Infrastructure Victoria's list has some basis behind it. If it's not on Infrastructure Victoria's list, then I think we should be questioning why we're doing it. And that's the case with the suburban rail loop. It's the case with the Westgate Tunnel project. None of these projects were on the government's own advisors' list of projects, and yet they went ahead with other projects. So I think giving something like Infrastructure Victoria more teeth in the process could be a good reform.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I've spoken to many experts on this show who say that with this particular project, the SRL, all of the rules were broken. Do you echo that in terms of when we look at Infrastructure Australia and other, as you say, Infrastructure Victoria, other independent bodies who said this simply doesn't stack up, yet the government continues to gaslight people and say that it will?
No, I would agree with those assessments, but I'd say it's not just this project. The same can be true of the Westgate Tunnel project. And, we know from the work that's been done, the Westgate Tunnel project isn't going to solve our congestion problem. It's, in fact, going to make congestion worse through inner Melbourne. So, there is something sort of broken with the way we get ourselves into these hugely costly projects that aren't necessarily addressing our key points of need.
Does this happen everywhere else, or is this a uniquely Victorian problem?
Oh, look, I don't think it's uniquely Victorian. I think other jurisdictions do a better job. I think if we look at the Commonwealth government, I think one of the things Albanese is trying to do is to put more rigour in the process, and we saw he's been very reluctant to invest in the suburban rail loop because the Infrastructure Australia has reviewed the project and has raised serious questions about the project. But you can see in his recent announcements that he's sort of starting to bend to the politics of it. So I think these political forces are quite strong, and it's difficult for politicians to
So do you think Albo will end up funding the whole thing or majority of it?
Oh, look, I doubt if he'll fund the majority of it, but I wouldn't all be surprised if he put in more than the $2 billion he's already committed to it. Other jurisdictions, the UK, for instance, these sorts of projects actually have to go through an act of parliament. So if these major projects actually had to go through parliament, at least we'd get parliamentary scrutiny of the project. So it is possible to set up systems when you're spending billions, or tens of billions of dollars, then perhaps the whole parliament should turn their mind to whether these are a good investment or not.
I think that's a good idea. I wonder if we'd ever get anything done, but it's not a bad premise, is it? But if you could
they build stuff in the UK all the time.
They do. That's true. That's true. If you could choose one project that you want built in this state, what would it be?
Well, with the completion of the Melbourne Metro 1, the Melbourne Metro 2 project would be high on my list. It would do a lot to improve rail services through the northern and western suburbs, which is where the majority of Melbourne's.
So where would that train line go to?
It would go through Fisherman's Bend. Now, Fisherman's Bend, if stations were built in Fisherman's Bend, the development industry would quickly probably provide about 50 or 60,000 houses in the Fisherman's Bend area. That area's already been planned. It's been sitting on the drawing board for 10 years now. It would go under the river to Newport, and it would provide extra rail capacity through that whole western growth area. And there's lots of other little extensions, rail extensions to Clyde, urban development to Clyde, to up north past Craigieburn. These would be quite small projects that wouldn't cost an arm and a leg, but would provide these sort of outer communities with some quality public transport.
Dr. Eric Keys, thank you. That's Dr. Eric Keys, PhD researcher at the Centre for Urban Research at RMIT. What do you think, 133693? If you could have a wishing list, what would be at the top of it? Would it be the SRL? And I've said this so many times before. It's not that the idea of the SRL is fundamentally bad. It's just it's one, as Dr. Eric says, there should be more projects prioritised, particularly those for people in the north and west. And two, the most important point, we simply can't afford it. Drive at 3aw.com.au. And today it's been announced that Tony, Emmy and 5-time Grammy Award-nominated singer and songwriter Josh Groban will be returning to Australia early next year for his Gems World Tour. He is an absolute superstar, Josh Groban, and he's sold over 35 million albums worldwide. He'll be at Sydney Myer Music Bowl Sunday, the 1st of March next year. Tickets will be on sale Monday at frontiertouring.com. It's a great Christmas present idea, or keep listening to Drive next week and we've got some tickets to give away too. Josh Groban back in Melbourne for the first time in a decade, frontiertouring.com from Monday.
Traffic. Shop and scan your everyday rewards card in-store at Woolworths to win instant money off your shop. Ends December 2nd. T's and C's and permits at woolworths.com.au.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. Outbound on the Westgate Freeway, allow an extra 45 minutes from the Domain Tunnel over the bridge and down onto the Princes Freeway after an earlier collision that was at Corroy Creek Road. It's still busy Altona bound on the Ring Road from Ballarat Road as well. Slow through the Burnley Tunnel out onto the Monash Freeway as crews remove a broken down car at Yarra Boulevard. That's stopped in the second right-hand lane. And Melbourne East, a collision blocking Waverley Road west of Darling Road. Take Dandenong Road instead. That's affecting Route 3 trams through the area.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, let's see. How's the list going?
Clear the gutters. Done. Move flammable materials away from the house. Done. Prepare our fire emergency kit. Done.
Great.
Pack food, water, spare clothes. Done.
Great. Oh, have we checked today's fire danger rating?
Yep, done. You can't control what a fire will do, but you can control how you prepare. How well do you know fire? Search Fire Planner. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Live sport, great entertainment and Black Friday savings. What a combination. That's exactly what you'll get with the Foxtel Black Friday sale. With countless streaming options available today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Luckily, with Foxtel's Black Friday sale, you can simplify your entertainment experience by bringing together your favourite shows, movies and sports all in one place. Get the world's best drama, watch over 50 sports live, plus select sports in 4K Ultra HD. Experience blockbuster movies, discover the best lifestyle and reality shows. Enjoy Foxtel Originals, everything from Netflix and HBO Max as well. For Foxtel's Black Friday sale, visit foxtel.com.au today. New customers only. Offer ends December 1.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you look at your shower this morning? If it's old, dirty and leaks, it can't be ignored. Call Richtech to give your shower a new lease of life. Melbourne's trusted shower regrouting and bathroom repair specialist. For shower regrouting, waterproofing or cleaning, the Richtech experts will give your shower the makeover it deserves, as well as a full 25-year guarantee. Book now at richtekgrouting.com.au.
It's Australian business. Hardworking, resilient, and built on the back of post-its, pens, printers, and yes, even mouse pads. Now, thanks to CommBank Yellow for Business, eligible customers could win one of 50 $2,000 Officeworks vouchers. More rewards for your business? No doubt. Search CommBank Yellow for Business. Entries open 17/11/25 and end 8/12/25. For full T's and season eligibility criteria, visit commbank.com.au/yellow for business.
You're listening to 3AW Drive. The White Glove Mover handles your items with care. Read the 5-star reviews at whiteglovemover.com.au.
It is 26 minutes past 5. Let's get into some calls now. Jeff, hello.
Yeah, hi, Jackie. Your guest before said he'd like to know how we get into these situations. The three big projects, all under Dan Andrews. The Chinese, they've won a large slab of the business. Where does Dan Andrews now do his business? In China. Who was he photographed with? The Chinese. And Jacinta, where's she taking advice from? Dan Andrews. That might be a good starting point to find out how we're there.
Jeff, thank you. One of the funniest days I've ever had in this broadcasting job is the day that we were sitting in the newsroom preparing the show and up popped on social media these photos of Dan Andrews with Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. And we just, at first we were all looking at each other going, surely that has to be AI, but it was real. And then the vision came out and it was, you couldn't make it up. If it wasn't serious, it is laughable, really, when you think about it. But it was just the whole thing. There's actually a mural about Dan Andrews that someone painted in the city over the last few days calling him Dictator Dan. It's in like Hosier Lane or one of the graffiti lanes, but it's quite a large mural. I don't know if you've seen it. Amusing. Jason, hello.
Yeah, hi, Jackie. One of the things with the suburban rail loop, when it was first envisaged, the project was shrouded in such secrecy within the Department of Premier and Cabinet that they didn't even run the idea of the project past the Department of Public Transport in Victoria. So the Department of Public Transport in Victoria had no idea this project was going to be announced. They weren't even asked for their opinion on whether it was actually going to be a project that was worthwhile pursuing.
Does it worry you, Jason, that we continue to get gaslighted into the cost of this thing? Like, surely, I find it disturbing that there's no body, there's no parliament, there's nothing that can compel the government to tell us the truth of what it's going to cost.
I really feel like there should be a royal commission into this because this is, like, forget about the $35 billion. This is going to be a $50 billion project. We've already seen with their other major projects like the Westgate Tunnel, the North East Link. These projects have not blown out by 20%. They're blown out by 50%. And there's no way in the world with the complexity of this project that they're going to be able to deliver it on time, on budget. It's definitely going to be another 40, 50% more than what they're actually claiming. And now it's not a railway project. Now it's a housing project. So they can't even convince themselves that the project's actually worthwhile pursuing just as a piece of public transport. And if they had started the SRL in the western suburbs, we all would have said, yep, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so. I think we would have said, okay, well, how much, one, is it going to cost? Because I think that's the prohibitive part of it. But two, which communities need it most? And you're so right, Jason. Like, where are the rail lines? And where is the infrastructure for people in the north and west? Jason, thank you. I just want to check in now on the Melbourne Awards. So these are awards that have been going since 2002 and they look for positive organisations across the city. They were held on Saturday, and the winner of the community category was River Nile School. And I just love this story. They've been doing exceptional work transforming education for young refugee and asylum seeker women. Charles Herzog is the principal. Hello, Charles.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. Now, this is a very exciting award, I imagine, for your school. But tell me a little bit about the sort of people, the sort of kids that attend the school and the backgrounds that they come from.
Yeah, so we have about 130 young women from 47 different countries at the moment, ranging between 15 and 25, young women that have had disrupted education, that have had to work really hard to overcome barriers to get to Australia, and then really advocated for their own education once they're here. Lots of our community and students have really competing priorities in looking after their families and obligations and family overseas that they're trying to get to Australia. So their capacity and resilience in prioritising their own education and investing in their own future is really exciting, and we're really proud of them.
Oh, I bet you are. And what are some of the stories that you've got? Like, have you got any particular women that have gone on after they've done their schooling with you or currently and what they've achieved?
Yeah, well, our students, graduating students go into all different kinds of fields, into nursing, into education, into management and sport. One of our alumni students is working with us in our teaching team at the moment. And we had our graduation last week, some really inspiring stories of, we had multiple students that were in the Afghani women's soccer team and made it out of Afghanistan and Kabul on the last plane when the Taliban took over Kabul and it fell, and have now completed their education, enrolled into their courses for next year and ready for the next exciting stage of their life.
And I imagine the trauma having to leave Afghanistan and being subjected to the Taliban rule to come here and restart your life again, like the ability to do that is quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing story of resilience, isn't it? And that the restarting moment, the connection to country that you lose. But, there is this deep love and connection that students and our community get to this city and this country as well, which is part of the reason that the award was really meaningful for us.
No, I love that. Charles, thank you. That's Charles Herzog, who is the principal of the River Nile School, and at the Melbourne Awards, they won the community category for empowering young women through education and opportunity.
3AW or Jackie Felgate or whatever.
My favourite sound, not really. That's the cue to call. If you know the answer to our tennis trivia question, phone now, 133693, and you go into the draw to win tickets, finals tickets actually, to the 2026 Australian Open. News headlines now with Tony Tardio.
Thank you, Jackie. Good afternoon. Again, it's been revealed taxpayers have spent more than $60 million on staffers in the Premier's department, despite a promise by the Treasurer to trim fat from the public service. There are 309 full-time staff in the Department of Premier and Cabinet. Victoria Police believe the death of a man found with a gunshot wound at Altona North is a case of misadventure with a firearm. 26-year-old Werribee man was found at a property on 2nd Avenue just after 3:30 this morning. The woman charged following the shocking CBD stabbing of an innocent restaurant worker has today been in court and applying for bail. The defence has argued the accused should be bailed to an inpatient mental health facility. And in sport, Nick Kyrgios is set to test his readiness for a return to the Grand Slam stage in Melbourne in January. He's going to play at the Kooyong Classic the week prior to the Australian Open. Jackie, details at 6.
Tony, thank you. All right, congratulations. Thank you to all of our callers. Congratulations to Dan. Woo. Not that Dan, caller Dan. You're in the draw for our 2026 Australian Open tickets, and your drive time tips are always welcome. Thanks to Sheen Panel Service. Had an accident? Call Sheen for a replacement vehicle. T's and C's apply. Coming up, do you eat Campbell's soup? You may have heard this in the news. These comments are wild. Stay listening. So this is the Vice President of Campbell's, and this leak recording has emerged overnight. It's part of a legal suit, and I'm going to play them next, but you won't believe. So this is like one of the bosses of Campbell's Soup. Stay listening, and I'll play you what he said.
I cannot recall.
3AW Traffic. With the right digital agency handling your SEO, your business could stand out and grow fast. Search Web Oracle and wake up famous.
Hello, Dan Delling from Transport Victoria. Solid run outbound on the Westgate Freeway. You'll need an extra 40 minutes from the Domain Tunnel all the way to the Princes Freeway. It's all due to an earlier collision that was down at Corroboree Creek Road. Still delaying Altona-bound traffic on the Ring Road from Ballarat Road. Inbound delays off the Westgate Bridge through the Burnley Tunnel. Crews have removed a broken down car from the middle lane at Yarra Boulevard. And Melbourne East, an accident blocking Waverley Road west of Darling Road. You best to use Dandenong Road instead. And that's disrupting Route 3 trams. They're not running through the area.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Stop paying BAS again and again and again. Pay.com.au it instead and get points. With Pay.com.au, you can earn uncapped rewards on all the business expenses you're already paying, from rent and payroll to ATO and yes, BAS, paid through the Pay.com.au platform, and you'll earn points on bank transfers and even more on your credit cards. Your mandatory BAS payment could turn into business class flights. Pay.com.au it and start getting rewarded today. Still got it? Of course you do. The smarts, the stories and crossword skills, nothing's changed. Well, maybe getting around the house isn't as easy as it used to be. That's where Lumia Care comes in. We provide that little extra help so you can stay independent, living in the home you love. From cooking and cleaning to transport and personal care. Call 1300 796 876 or visit lumiacare.com.au. Lumia Care, for those who've still got it and want to keep it that way.
Hi, Jamie Dury here. Australia's facing a housing crisis, and I want to help change that. On my new show, Future House on Channel 9, we're taking on one big challenge. Can we build 3 homes in 3 months for 3 real families? And one of those families is mine. We're using cutting-edge construction methods like prefab houses built in 6 weeks in a factory and transported to site, and even state-of-the-art 3D concrete printing, which we're using to build a home for our family on our farm. We've also teamed up with companies making a real difference, like CommBank, the first major bank to lend for prefab off-site construction, a game changer. This isn't just about a quick build. It's about making sustainable, affordable and quality housing an accessible option for Australian families. The future of housing isn't just a dream. It's happening right now. Join me for Jamie Dury's Future House, Tuesday nights 8:30 on 9 and 9 Now.
Most people think that their super fund retires when they do, so they withdraw their money or stop looking for ways to increase its value. But with Hester, our specialised services and products mean your super keeps working long after you stop. Hester, super with impact. Hester is issued by HEST Australia Limited. Before making a decision about this product, read the PDS and TMD at hester.com.au and consider if it is appropriate for you. Past performance does not indicate future performance.
99 News, a young family man dead after a mystery shooting in an Altona North backyard. Victoria's big rental shake-up, everything tenants and landlords need to know, and an easy and cheaper way to eat more fruit and veggies. 9 News, your news at 6.
3AW Drive. The Berkowitz Blackout Sale starts now. Up to 25% off stressless, 40% off select lounge and dining, even more off floor stock, only at Berkowitz.
It is at 22 minutes to 6. I'm obsessed with this story. So this is this guy, Martin Bally. He's the vice president of Campbell's, like Campbell's Soup. Do you still use Campbell's or eat Campbell's Soup? It's happened occasionally when I was a kid, I reckon. Sometimes you might have pumpkin soup. It was Campbell's Soup, maybe. But if you still eat it, maybe you shouldn't, because he said, and this is a leaked recording, it was a legal case, he's the vice president of Campbell's, and he's taken aim at not only their products, but also their customers. Take a listen.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it. Even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
Oh, my God. This is the vice president of this company, Campbell's, 133693. This would have to rate up there in terms of humiliations as one of the greats, like that guy that was hugging the lady or kissed him on the kiss cam that was having the affair. This is sort of like that, isn't it? Bree Williams is a consumer behaviour expert and the founder of People Patterns. Hi, Bree.
Hope we're having a better day than he is.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
With that many beeps in that audio, it was like alphabet soup. I don't know actually what he was saying, but fair to say it's never a good day when you're disparaging or blaming your customers or colleagues.
Well, he called his customers poor, so he'll have to get the sack, won't he?
Well, they've placed him on leave, and I think the only way they can remediate the situation, of course, assuming it's happened and they do their investigation, is, they have to take action on him because it's obviously incompatible with how they market themselves and accordingly their values, their internal cultural values.
He also said that the product itself was disgusting and it was bioengineered meat and that you wouldn't eat it, only poor people would eat it. So in terms of that, how does a brand recover when you've got their vice president saying the food that's in there is disgusting?
It's not ideal, is it? He is the vice president and they often have multiple vice presidents, but he was in the information security section. So I noticed the company's already come out and said he's got nothing to do with how we produce our food. The problem, though, is one of perception, and they're either going to have to reformulate their product or put out a whole lot of marketing materials around, proving that people consume it and enjoy it. So they've got a lot of work to do here. I think they're going to have short-term pain. Ultimately, though, they will survive this. They survived in 2011. Their CEO at the time talking down to people about the salt-reduced range. So,
really?
And, other brands have had these sorts of unfortunate issues. Whenever a brand or a representative of a brand, I should say, disparages customers, they can expect a backlash, but ultimately things will rebound.
And how much does it cost the bottom line at the end of the day? Like you said, short-term pain. Like we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, right, for a big company like Campbell's?
It kind of depends on how hot people get on this issue. No pun intended, given it's soup. But It really depends if this captures the imagination. Now, calling people poor, not good, and also disparaging what actually is the ingredients and the quality of the food, that is also going to hurt. So I imagine there's going to be a whole lot of deep discounting for Campbell's products into the new year.
So just someone's comments, if you're a regular consumer of this soup and other things, would you actually not buy it, do you think?
Short term, absolutely. I think people will feel that it's insulting for them and their choices, and they will look at alternative brands. So alternative brands, I mean, what an opportunity. You'd really want to go hard to say, we have quality ingredients, etc. So I think this is the time they can steal those welded-on habitual users of Campbell's products. So the opportunity is for the alternative brands, but if people love their Campbell's soup, they'll probably continue to consume it.
Yeah, Bree, thank you. That's Bree Williams, consumer behaviour expert and founder of People Patterns. A couple of emails as well. You can drop us a line, drive@3aw.com.au. Ron says, I find it funny that if you disagree with Jackie, she never reads your emails out. It's not very fair that you pick all the good emails to read. Well, Ron, people disagree with me all the time, whether it be on air, on email, and I sure read them all out. Let me tell you, I certainly see them all. And I read out many of them. That's the whole idea. You can have a different point of view. More than happy to discuss it with you. But thanks for that. I've now read out your email. And Arthur says the best Greek restaurant is That Greek Tavern in Melbourne Road, Glen Iris. It is a great family-run Greek tavern. The best Greek restaurants. We're talking about this because in The Age today there's an article about Oakley as being the Greekest place outside of Greece. So if you love Greek food, or if you are Greek yourself, do you go down to Oakley? And where is the best Greek restaurant in Melbourne?
AW Melbourne traffic. Bob Jane T-Marts won't be beaten with their best higher price guarantee. Bob Jane T-Marts, they'll look after you.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. If you're about to jump on the Westgate Freeway, it's a solid run out of town from end to end, all due to an earlier collision that was down at Corroy Creek Road. Inbound's also busy off the Westgate Bridge heading through the Burnley Tunnel due to an earlier broken down car at Yarra Boulevard. Calder Freeway, 23-minute delays from the Tulla Split out to Calder Park Drive. Melbourne East, a collision blocking Waverley Road west of Darling Road. Use Dandenong Road, that's disrupting Route 3 trams. And Hoddle Street and Punt Road, they're solid in both directions between Toorak Road, South Yarra and Johnson Street, Abbotsford.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Lexus has long led the way in plug-in hybrid technology. Now the latest plug-in hybrids have landed at Lexus of Blackburn. Plug in to the luxury of choice with exhilarating Lexus performance. Plug in to extraordinary economy with 1.3 litres consumption per 100 kilometres. Plug in without compromise. Now plug in the date for a test drive at Lexus of Blackburn. LMCT 10093. T's and C's apply.
Sneezing with your eyes open is impossible. I tried it. It really hurts. But getting 21% off the Victorian default offer, including a $125 first electricity bill credit and a 12-month My NRMA Rewards membership with NG Perks, it's possible. Search NG for more. A residential customer using 4,000 kilowatt hours per year on a flat rate in the City Power network would pay $1,220, including GST, in the first year of their plan. Bills may change depending on usage. Plan information documents available online.
At Bunnings, we can't wait for Black Friday this year. We've got products coming in that you really won't expect.
Like ice cream makers, slushy machines, and even unicorn lights.
Keep a lookout for exciting Black Friday products coming soon to Bunnings.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Australian business. Hardworking, resilient, and built on the back of post-its, pens, printers, and yes, even mouse pads. Now, thanks to CommBank Yellow for Business, eligible customers could win one of 50 $2,000 Officeworks vouchers. More rewards for your business? No doubt. Search CommBank Yellow for Business. Entries open 17/11/25 and end 8/12/25. For full T's and C's and eligibility criteria, visit commbank.com.au/yellow for business.
Suppose I'm Aldi's Vita Verde fry pan set, just $34.99, and you're someone who wants their partner to cook more. That makes me the perfect gift. Do it. Grab my Stay Cool handle. Go on. It's Christmas. Aldi. Good different.
There's tennis. And then there's tennis turned up. Hear the difference for yourself at the United Cup Finals in Sydney, Ken Rosewall Arena, January 3rd to 11th. Search United Cup tickets.
I think there are a lot of elderly people around sitting on valuable real estate and scrambling for cash.
Like millions of older Australians, Joe and Diana's wealth was in their home.
Household Capital and its reverse mortgage just completely solved that.
Household Capital makes it safe and simple to tap into your home wealth, giving you the financial freedom you deserve in retirement. Talk to a retirement specialist today on 13 1306. householdcapital.com.au. Terms, conditions, fees, charges and eligibility criteria apply.
Season's greetings. It's Brother Ollie Pickett here from Wheelchairs for Kids. This Christmas, while children here are dreaming of bikes and toys, thousands of overseas children are simply dreaming of getting off the ground, going to school and playing with friends. A wheelchair can change everything, bringing hope, dignity and joy all the year round. Just $300 gifts a child their first wheelchair and a better life for years to come. Please, if you can, give a life-changing gift this Christmas at wheelchairsforkids.org.
3AW Drive, powered by Signet's Black Friday sale. Buy one Prime power bank, get one free. That's two for the price of one. Exclusive to Signet.com.
It is 12 minutes to 6, which means it's almost time for Jimmy Bartel. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jack, we've got a big show. Laura Spurway, we're going to whip up our, wrap around, of course, the AFLW Awards. It was quite surprising. North Melbourne, one of the most dominant sides we've ever seen, never had anyone in the All-Australian backline. We're going to talk about...
I see something about disposals for, was it Jessie Garner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
AFL record. She had 4 big in and didn't actually get a vote. But
Yes.
we'll talk about that, of course. We'll talk about the cricket, Usman Khawaja. What should we do with Uzi? Some strong comments from people who are normally pretty measured about cricket, and we'll talk a bit of tennis and basketball as well.
Fab. Thank you, Jim. All right. We're talking soup as well. I didn't ask Jim what his favourite soup. What's your favourite soup, Jim? Is it pumpkin soup or is it some kind of other soup?
Custard. The dessert soup.
Oh, my God. I'm not shocked. Jim is like a giant child. And I'm not shocked. Go away. He's laughing. 133693, your favourite soup because of this Campbell's soup scandal. Carl's is... do you drink... You wouldn't. Carl would not eat that. Catherine's put that on my screen saying that Carl likes Campbell's home-style chicken and rice. Catherine's is tomato soup. And Jimmy, always a mummy's boy, is the brodo, which is a chicken broth, Italian chicken broth. But speaking of Italians, let's talk about Greeks instead, Jimmy, for a change. The best Greek restaurants in Melbourne, 133693. Are they in Oakley? Con, hello.
Good evening, Jackie. Without aggravating both my wife and my mum, the best Greek food is actually a discovery that I made last week at a place called Astoria Barbecue Grill. It's located opposite Corner Chapel and Turak Road, where the Channel 10 studios were. And I can't speak more highly of the place. Greeks don't eat Campbell's soup, but if in terms of soup, they'll have an avro lemono. So
I know what it is. It's amazing, Con. Amazing.
Absolutely. So 10 out of 10 for the guys there at Astoria Bar and Grill. And no, I have no affiliation with the restaurant. Just a really good night out.
Yeah, and now tell me, because this is is it lemon drop soup? Is it lemon egg drop soup? Is that the translation?
Yes.
Yeah.
In its crudest translation, yes.
Yes, and the best bit about it is when you're sick, it is almost like it cures all your ills, doesn't it?
Well, it's the equivalent of matzo ball soup for the Jewish community.
Yeah, so good. I have a Greek friend who, when I got COVID during the pandemic, brought me round that soup. Unbelievable. Unbelievable soup, basically cured me. Okay, 133693, or you can drop us an email, drive@3aw.com.au. And when planning an event, you always look for that perfect setting, a place that truly delivers that undeniable wow factor. And that place is the Grand Room in South Yarra, beneath the golden hush of intimate light, a private table, and your very own elegant event space awaits. This isn't your typical meeting room. It's velvet banquettes, hand-poured wines, and exquisite food where every course tells a story. The Grand Room is perfect for the people you want to impress, the partnership you want to nurture, or that big family moment you need to elevate, because when the setting speaks volumes, you don't need to. The Grand Room, South Yarra's crown jewel for every occasion. Start planning your event today. Search the Grand Room. And Harold's on the line because we interviewed earlier in the program John Aloisi, the Socceroo, who kicked the amazing goal to put Australia into the World Cup. And I asked the audience, what's happening? Where were you when? So what was happening in the global events, whether it be an amazing sporting moment or a significant moment in history, and were you there? Harold, hello.
Hello, Jackie. How are you tonight?
Good, thanks.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Harold.
Well, I was, I think it was 1956. It was before the Melbourne Olympics, what was the new Olympic Park. And there was a mile race, and Ron Clark was in the race, and he fell. And yes. John Landy hurdled over him, and then stopped to go back and help him because he thought he may have spiked him. And then after the field had gone about half a lap, which is a fair way, John Landy confirmed that Ron Clark was okay, so he took off over the field, after the field, and he won the race.
And you were there. Harold, that's a beautiful story. And, that's the famous statue outside Olympic Park, isn't it, of John Landy. Harold, thank you. All right, more of your calls after this.
Let the white glove move it for you.
traffic. Moving house doesn't have to be a nightmare. The White Glove Mover delivers a stress-free experience.
Hello, Dan from Transport Victoria. Monash Freeway, there's been a two-car collision outbound prior to Forster Road. It's blocking the right-hand lane, so please merge safely to the left. Crews are on their way. Outbound Westgate Freeway, you still need an extra 45 minutes from the Domain Tunnel onto the Princes Freeway down to Point Cook Road. It never recovered after an earlier collision. Inbound delays off the Westgate Bridge through the Burnley Tunnel are easing after an earlier breakdown. And Melbourne East clearing a collision on Waverley Road between Burke Road and Darling Road. Route 3 trams have been given the go-ahead to resume. Calder Freeway busy off the Tulla Split to Calder Park Drive.
True or false? Black Friday's the biggest sale of the year at Bingley.
True.
It's on now.
True.
I'm in charge.
False.
Mum's in charge.
True.
There's huge deals on TVs, tech, fridges, ovens, washers, coffee machines, vacuums and more.
True. Just make a purchase at Bingley and you're in a daily draw for your chance to win a new appliance.
True. And we're giving away a new Volkswagen ID4 Pro.
True.
I need a new car too.
False.
Black Friday, our biggest sale of the year at Bingley. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Todd Woodbridge. We all want to live our best life, and if you're over 55, an Inviva Home Equity Release Loan could give you the financial freedom you're looking for. It's a loan that lets you access the equity in your home. Take it as a lump sum, regular income payments, or as a line of credit, whatever works for you. Find out how much you could access at inviva.com.au. INVIVA. Applications are subject to credit approval. Fees, charges, terms and eligibility criteria apply. Consider whether reverse mortgage is right for you.
You know you want to start a business. What you don't know is how to make it a reality. GoDaddy Aero's got you. It uses AI to help you find the domain name that's right for you. Next, answer a few prompts, and with a couple of clicks, Aero will design a professional-looking website or storefront in minutes. Aero can even help you stay engaged with your customers. Just attach a professional email that matches your domain. With GoDaddy Aero, you can build a business without having to know a thing about this stuff. Just visit godaddy.com.au to get started. That's godaddy.com.au. Premium features require paid subscription. See terms on site.
Hi, Jamie Dury here. Australia's facing a housing crisis, and I want to help change that. On my new show, Future House on Channel 9, we're taking on one big challenge. Can we build 3 homes in 3 months for 3 real families? And one of those families is mine. We're using cutting-edge construction methods like prefab houses built in a factory in 6 weeks and even 3D concrete printing, which we're using on our own farm. We've also teamed up with companies making a real difference, like CommBank, the first major bank to lend for prefab off-site construction. A game changer. The future of housing isn't just a dream, it's happening right now. Join me for Jamie Dury's Future House, Tuesday nights, 8:30 on 9 and 9 Now.
With 142 years as part of Australia's real estate landscape, Rain and Horn have built unparalleled expertise and unwavering trust. Here's Randolph Clements, Managing Director.
At Rain and Horn, we're here to guide you through every property journey. Backed by a legacy of community and commitment, local knowledge, exceptional service for many more years to come. So trust the experts who have been here from the start.
Contact your local Rain and Horn agent today. rainandhorn.com.au.
Drive on 3AW thanks to Lexus of Blackburn. Test drive the Lexus of your dreams at Lexus of Blackburn. LMCT 10093.
It is at 3 minutes to 6 and Chris Miller is on the line from Transport Victoria. Chris, it's peak hour.
It is, and busy conditions outbound on the Monash, not being helped, Jackie, by a collision just prior to Forster Road or just after Huntingdale Road. It's in the right-hand lane. The big red X's are on, but of course people are ignoring that, and we've literally just by the skin of our teeth avoided another big collision. So please, obey the overhead signs. It's not that hard. They're up there for a reason. They're up there to stop you running into things.
Why is the Monash, this is 2 nights in a row, why is it always the Monash, Chris?
People drive too close to each other, Jackie. It's just that simple. They don't give themselves enough time for error. You know, if you right up someone's clacker and they jam on the brakes, well, then you're going to end up in the back of them. Remember the 2-second rule we all learned when we were getting our licence? It's there for a reason.
It is. It is. Is the rest of the network moving okay?
Yeah, look, busy conditions across the freeway, but everybody else seems to be behaving so far. Touch wood.
That would be right. Chris, thank you. Chris Miller from Transport Victoria.